We have dedicated PNC teams throughout the local area, all ready to do the boring work to help you unlock your own brilliance. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
I really need funding to expand my inventory.
Swish Funding can help you expand inventory, upgrade equipment, and boost your cash flow.
Well, okay, but I need funding fast.
Swish Funding provides funding from $25,000 to $2 million with payment terms tailored to your needs and cash in your account in less than 24 hours.
So what's the catch?
No catch. If you've been in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000, you could qualify. Just go to swishfunding.com to apply. That's swishfunding.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
Hey everyone, welcome in. It is Dom time. Always a somber day and also the kickoff of summer day. And one of the things in America, by the way, just a small note, I didn't go back and Google each one of them. But I did notice that President Trump today was at Arlington, where every American president should be on Memorial Day. And I can go back and Google each one, but I do remember the shame of President Obama apparently not getting that memo. You could say just a small thing that presidents should do, but a very meaningful thing for those who are still mourning, grieving, the nation's heroes at Arlington, people who defended our freedoms, the freedoms to be in a parade, have a cookout, listen to talk radio, do talk radio today. So at any point, you can certainly call in remembering somehow or another on Memorial Day. I'm happy to report, to that point that I mentioned, people fighting for our freedoms. I told you that I was at the White Marsh Township sort of commissioners. There were only 2 out of like 6 people that were supposed to be there on Wednesday night. And I entered Bizarro World. They did not get that memo that parades should go on today. So one of the points of the show today, in addition to I'm going to replay my interview with Dave Koski, formerly worked for President Trump, then the Sixers, now runs thriving media company, newspapers at the Shore. He was at the event, the tip of the hat again to Pete of Chicky and Pete's, Pete Cherokee. Chicky and Pete's put on that fabulous event at the Farley Plaza that I broadcast from every summer. He may call in. And it was a wonderful day, and Pat is championing the cause and how appropriate for Memorial Day of Steve Ludlam, the 7 Mile Beach hero of World War II, who he believes, and a lot of people do, is deserving to be commended with the Congressional Medal of Honor. Jeff Andrew apparently is working on it too, and we will remind you of that, and you'll hear in the interview how to express or connect with this. We hope all summer to remind you of this, since it's so Jersey Shore centric, so important, particularly on Memorial Day. But the memo did not go out to White Marsh Township that we're still in America. And the Bizarro World that I entered the other night was amazing. Sean, if you have it, here's cut 2. Here's what the residents said the other night in Washington, White Marsh Township, about the cancellation. And I have an update on that coming up in just a moment. And I may stop this halfway through, Sean, because it gets a little repetitive of outraged residents. And if you are at a parade, going to a parade, or know of a parade, I have down Philadelphia Parade, Doylestown, Lansdale, Broomall, Media, Glassboro. There's probably many others. That's just what I was able to find today, are holding parades on Memorial Day. Why would White Marsh Township not do a parade on July 4th, just 0.8 of a mile? Here are some of the residents at the meeting.
Well, White Marsh Township officials say, simply put, they don't have the money or the security manpower to hold this year's 4th of July parade. And tonight, upset residents piled into a special meeting to try to save their parade.
How can we keep this on the calendar? What does it cost? And how are we going to achieve it?
This is really a true lack of leadership. It's tremendously disappointing.
White Marsh Township residents grilling local officials for the surprise cancellation of this year's beloved 4th of July parade.
In America, when we sacrifice freedom for safety, we all lose.
All right, stop it right there, Sean. So when we sacrifice freedom for safety, we all lose. So I'm told that, and I'm not even sure if this is public or not. You can't tell with these goofy commissioners over in White Marsh Township. They're holding another meeting now, this coming Wednesday at 6:30, in order to take a look at maybe doing some kind of parade. I mean, people laid out all kinds of scenarios the other night over there in White Marsh Township, how they could do it where the school district, the elementary school, Colonial, that drive there, it's only have a couple of points of access. Couldn't you do it there? What is wrong with these people? How do they not get America, just as a woman said today on Memorial Day? I would argue people fought and died so that we would not be overrun and completely lose our freedoms. But one of those things that Americans do is our way of life. We're not going to shelter because of some police chief over in White Marsh Township. He goes to a public meeting about Highland Park, gets all triggered up, and says, I can't do the parade. There are 28 access points, and it would cost $200,000 to protect them, 0.8 of a mile. How does a functioning republic have small towns? And White Marsh is celebrating their 250th anniversary next year. Blood was shed there during the Revolutionary War. How do they end up with a town council and a police commissioner who can't hold an 0.8 of a mile parade with no threats, not just no credible threats, no threats, nothing. FBI, Homeland Security. This guy goes to a Homeland Security presentation, and suddenly the world ends, and they go along with it. So on Memorial Day, as these other places are celebrating parades, how in the world do we end up with people like this? Well, they're all Democrats over there in White Marsh Township that run that community, so there's that. It is a stunning, stunning story. So I'm told 6:30, Barron Hill Fire Department. I don't know if the public's invited or not. They're going to hash it out and determine what kind of form of celebration they can have. My God. It's just, it grows more stunning every day. Okay. Now, just because we're on this holiday, we did not stint from the attacks on President Trump around the issue of patriotism. So first, I'm going to play you Eddie Vedder. Oh, Mr. Vedder jumps in. Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam at a performance in Pittsburgh voiced a defense of the fraudulent one of rocker Bruce Springsteen. Now, you know, Springsteen on foreign soil went after Trump not once but twice. Why is he fraudulent? Let us count the ways with this guy. And he attacked Trump and by extension the country for having Trump. Eddie Vedder, before a crowd at the Pearl Jam concert, talks about how in the world can you attack Bruce Springsteen? Springsteen, after all, is America. I didn't know that. I thought he was Jersey at one point. He's fraudulent on that. Now he's America. So here is Eddie Vedder, both defending Springsteen and explaining how in the world can you attack him given he is America, cut 18.
When a hero like Bruce Springsteen brings up issues and makes his thoughts be known, and uses his microphone to speak for those who don't have a voice sometimes. Certainly not an amplified one. I appreciate you listening, and I bring it up because the response to all that and him using the microphone, the response had nothing to do with the issues. They didn't talk about one of those issues, didn't have a conversation about one of those issues, didn't debate.
Sean, stop for a second here. Just stop here. Mr. Vetter, tell us, Mr. Vetter. Oh, please, Mr. Vetter, genius Vetter. Tell us what issues either you or nitwit Bruce Springsteen would like to debate. Can you imagine? Trump did not debate the issues with Bruce Springsteen. What issues might they be? Your fraudulent sycophancy for the Democrat Party du jour, your fraudulent telling of the Jersey story. What issues, Eddie Vedder, should President Trump have addressed with Mr. Springsteen? All right, there's more.
Personal attacks and threats that nobody else should even try to use their microphone or use their voice in public, or they will be shut down. Now that is not allowed in this country that we call America. Am I right or am I wrong? Part of free speech is open discussion. Yes. Part of democracy is healthy public discourse. Yes. The name calling is so beneath us. Bruce has always been as pro-American with his values of freedom and liberty, and his justice has always remained intact. And I'm saying that this now, I'm saying just to be sure that this freedom to speak will still exist in another year or two from now when we come back to this microphone.
All right, Mr. Vetter. Notice the ending. It's always, will free speech be existing a year from now when we come back to this microphone? Always the shutting down of free speech. Now, we're punching back, metaphorically, on the Springsteens, the Vetters of the world, etc. Coming up, I have a little bit of Scott Pelley, who I've interviewed in person and is an all-time stuff shirt, legacy media guy, 60 Minutes and the like. And I'll play you Megyn Kelly's response. Pelley went off at a graduation speech saying whatever happened to freedom of speech in this country. Well, can you speak freely? Sure. Could there be pushback by other people who might not like what you're saying and want to have a voice, a.k.a. President Trump, X, or Twitter, Elon Musk? Yes, there might be. That's freedom of speech also. All right, let me give you the side question today. Always with a great side question. Saturday was Brothers' Day. So you can get your name into the hat, even though it's a holiday. And on Friday, we have a gift card, $50 gift card probably for Gallows, Great Gallows, Jim Harvey up there on the boulevard, and Harv's Burger Bar, 2 restaurants in one, really. Would love to have you be the winner on Friday. So when you call in on Eddie Vedder, Bruce Springsteen, Memorial Day, the parades, just hit me with that all-time celebrity or well-known, not just celebrities, well-known brothers, real or fictional. I will take off the board Cain and Abel. You don't get more biblical or farther back than Cain and Abel. I'll take off the Marx brothers, not Karl Marx, but Groucho. And I'll take off the Wright brothers, all right? Orville and the Wright brothers. And what we're doing, flying. So hit us with that at the end of your call, 855-839-1210. Whoever has the best at the end of the show by the lightning round, your name goes into the hat, and you have a 1 out of 5 chance of being picked on Friday when we award the winner of the week. If you're a new listener, welcome. Good to have you. This is a staple of our show, noon until 3, Monday through Friday. All right, here's how you get on board. I'll see if Sean has one when we come back. 855-839-1210. AT&T and Verizon Wireless, all that you need to do is just push pound 1210 and we'll get you in. So who's shutting down freedom of speech of Bruce Springsteen? He can still portray himself fraudulently as a man of the people while being worth $1 billion. Income inequality, the Jersey story, the daughter across Europe and dressage competitions. Give me a break. How long do we have to hear this? And then another two-bit jumps in, Eddie Vedder, Pearl Jam, telling us, why are we not discussing the issues with Bruce? What's the issue? What are some of the issues, Mr. Vedder, that you'd like to discuss? What would the issues be that you have even a scintilla of knowledge of, or Springsteen? Other than, well, let me see what a Democrat tells me to say. All right, 855-839-1210. Get on board with Dom here on Memorial Day 2025.
This room needs a statement piece.
Bucks County Estate Traders is loaded with beautiful, unique pieces of all styles. It's huge, and truckloads of incredible items arrive daily.
Sounds overwhelming.
It's a breeze. Every item has a QR code that puts its info at your fingertips, and their friendly designers are there to help. In fact, open BucksCountyEstateTraders.com, and we can shop now.
Oh, I love that.
Let's go. It's their Memorial Day sale.
Visit BucksCountyEstateTraders.com or their Hatfield showroom and save 20 to 50% store-wide. Sale ends soon. Now open extended hours and Sundays.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Day 3 of the search for a missing park ranger whose boat capsized in Tyler State Park in Bucks County. The park remains closed. A national nonprofit gives Philly's parks a very low score for maintenance, and special events being held throughout the region to mark Memorial Day weekend.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli coming to Tri-County Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram for Employee Pricing Plus all month long. Get employee pricing on your favorite vehicles. Right now, you can lease a new 2025 Jeep Compass Limited for only $359 a month for 42 months. Or check out a new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn and lease for $449 a month for 42 months. So hurry in. These offers won't last long. Stop into their showroom today or visit them online at TriCountyCDJR.com to see more.
The good and bad with home improvement projects. The good, you save $1 or $2. The bad.
Kevin, there's no hot water.
So you move on to the car.
Kevin, what's with the car?
Good news, you can recover from these.
Kevin!
Well, most all of them. But when it comes to your retirement, a mistake can be devastating.
Call Joe Yakovich at JML Financial Group. He's been helping folks prepare for retirement for over 30 years. That's why he's able to correct your do-it-yourself problems before they're problems.
Get your complimentary assessment of where you are now and look at some of the retirement boxes you haven't even thought of.
Kevin!
You can't YouTube your retirement. Call Joe Yakovich at 856-925-6674 or visit jmlfinancialgroup.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company.
Here's a few questions for you from California Psychics. Do your workdays seem to go on forever? Is your career progression as fast as downtown traffic? Or does your boss still not know your name?
Hey, you, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Carrie, ma'am. Just get it done, Terry.
It's time to read the career warning signs and talk to California Psychics. We're always on hand to give you the career guidance you need. You see, we only connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So you could soon be telling your boss where to stick that report.
Where are you going, Terry? Terry!
Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
Prioritize yourself and make your dream of an attractive, healthy smile a reality at PI Dental Center. The professionals at PI Dental have been transforming patients' smiles for over 38 years. Board-certified specialists, Dr. Glenn Wolfinger and Dr. Robert Slough, perform complex dental makeovers with their Teeth in a Day protocol, where dental implants are placed and restored with fixed teeth in just 1 day. It's time to invest in yourself. For a smile that's monumental, trust PI Dental. Visit PIDentalCenter.com.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Dom Giordano with you live and local here on Memorial Day. All right, you heard Eddie Vedder, Bruce Springsteen. They're America. You're not. We're not debating the issues with them. Side question today, all-time brothers, real or fictional, alive or past, doesn't matter. Famous brothers is what we're looking for. I took several off. We'd love to get yours. Sean, do you have a pair of brothers or three?
Yeah, I actually got a trio of brothers. It's the Kennedy brothers, John, Robert, and Ted.
Yeah, exactly. That's one that's good to take off. One of the most famous of the brothers. Okay, so we got brothers going on. You can get in at any point during the show today. You got Eddie Vedder, Bruce Springsteen. So here's Scott Pelley speaking at a college graduation commencement address. Freedom of speech is under attack, and he tells the proud graduates, the country is calling you to defend freedom of speech. Can you imagine? Here's Scott Pelley.
You know, if we were in London walking past Portland Place on a beautiful spring day, we would encounter the headquarters of the British Broadcasting Corporation, a nearly 100-year-old building from which Edward R. Murrow, the original CBS News correspondent, stood on the roof and broadcast back to America the falling bombs of fascism that fell on that free city month after month. And if we walk a little bit further past the BBC, we will encounter another hero in the fight against fascism, George Orwell. He'll be standing right there, frozen in bronze, with his words carved in the side of the building. If liberty means anything at all, it means telling someone something that they don't want to hear.
Oh, smattering of applause. Yes, Scott. Brilliant observation.
I fear there may be some people in the audience who don't want to hear what I have to say today. But I appreciate your forbearance in this small act of liberty. I'm a reporter, so I won't bury the lead.
Stop there for a minute, Sean. How about the lead, Scott Pelley? What did you say about Joe Biden? What did you say during the Biden years? What did you say now that we saw just in the last 24, 48 hours, material coming out, Catherine Herridge and others, showing how the Biden people labeled those who had reservations or COVID skeptics on some things with masks, etc., as violent people. Yes, the Biden administration. Not to mention the sheer cognitive malfeasance of propping him up and whatever else is wrong with him as president of the United States. Oh, do tell us what George Orwell and the BBC, Scott, would tell you to say about that. This guy is as stuff-shirty as you get. He is the face of the so-called legacy media. Here's a little more of Scott Pelley.
The country that has given you so much is calling you, the class of 2025. Your country needs you, and it needs you today. As a reporter, I've learned to respect opinions. Reasonable people differ about the life of our country. And America works well when we listen to those that we disagree with, where we listen to those and we disagree with and have common ground and compromise. And one thing we can all agree on, one thing at least, America is at her best when everyone is included. To move forward, we debate, not demonize.
Wait a minute. Stop it, Sean. Did Eddie Vedder write this, or did Bruce Springsteen write this? Mr. Vedder, kudos to you. You should have been giving that commencement speech. Everybody's not being included. No, you're not just dominating. You're not controlling everything. We have some power now. We have media. We have all three branches of government. All right? you are not able to shove it down anyone's throat anymore, Mr. Pelley. All right, here's a little bit more from Scott Pelley.
I like this crowd. To move forward, we debate, not demonize. We discuss, not destroy.
Oh, my God.
But in this moment, this morning, our sacred rule of law is under attack. Journalism is under attack. Universities are under attack. Freedom of speech is under attack. And insidious fear is reaching through our schools, our businesses, our homes, and into our private thoughts.
All right, our private thoughts. Orwell, cue the music. All right, thank you, Mr. Pelley. Now, here's a little bit of the response. I gave you some, too, from Megyn Kelly about just what I referenced, that the new material out in the last 24, 48 hours, I mean, we knew this. I get it. You can say, we knew this, Tom. Come on. It's one thing to know it, to see it with our eyes. It's another to have documentation, to have the actual evidence, the receipts, if you will. And Megyn Kelly brings that up about Pelley and COVID, and also Joe Biden. Did you know that the Evan Thompson, I have it in here somewhere, the guy that's a co-author with Jake Tapper of the Biden book, says, oh, yes, they may be coming out with a paperback edition because there's so much to report on Biden and cancer. My goodness, they're onto a paperback, people that refuse to cover what was right there in front of them. So here's a little bit more. Here's Megyn Kelly rebutting this.
Oh, that's Scott Pelley. 15. We can't leave this subject without showing you Scott Pelley at Wake Forest. I don't know why Wake Forest would invite Scott Pelley and sick him on their graduates with, as you accurately point out, I've never heard it said right like you did, lockjaw. He does have the lockjaw. That's not happening. With the glasses. Mm-hmm. So here he goes to speak to these poor graduates who are his captive audience. And keep in mind when you hear this clip of the free speech crackdowns that we suffered during COVID under Joe Biden, right? When he took over, and how we got censored if we said, try ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine. Right. Or if you said COVID started in a lab and it wasn't natural origin. If you said it's causing serious side effects like myocarditis. Mm-hmm. All of the crackdowns, right, that we've had on free speech. The disinformation dozen, where they actively worked with social media to censor regular Americans, where he sicked the FBI on parents at school board meetings if they were saying the wrong things. And now is the time Scott Pelley would like to throw a word out there for free speech, and listen to him do it.
But in this moment, this morning, our sacred rule of law is under
we got it. The lockjaw, too. He does have it. The mainline lockjaw here. All right, 855-839-1210. You can get in with Dom. Hit us with that all-time famous brothers. Okay? Real, fictional, doesn't matter. Get your name into the hat, and maybe on Friday you'll be a winner of a $50 gift card to Gallows. 855-839-1210. If you're going, coming, or something, a parade today was in your town, I'd love to hear it. White Marsh Township going to meet apparently this Wednesday in a firehouse. I'm not sure if the public is invited. I plan to go there and see what will they cook up now, these geniuses, now that they've just defiled everything that you think of when you think of our holidays and the spirit of freedom. Yes, can there sometimes be something that goes amiss where you could be under attack? Of course, we recognize that. Is there any credible reason? Do the analytics indicate anybody be targeting White Marsh for any? No, they don't. Then why does one police chief who goes to a seminar and then goes nuts turn a proud town, 250 years, founded next year, Revolutionary War bloodlines, into people that can't have a parade, an 0.8 of a mile parade over in White Marsh cannot be had because of that. All right, I'm going to take your calls coming up. Get your name into the hat. If you have somebody, famous brothers, duo, trio, hit us with that. National Brothers Day was on Saturday, every day. New listener. We have Dom's Money Melody for a great prize later in the show, and we have the side question on something just like this. 855-839-1210. Tell me, was there a parade in your town? Is there a parade on July 4th? You can tout it and promote it. Glenside, which is right there, White Marsh Township, they have a big parade. I was in there, July 4th at least, I believe, is their parade. I was in there one year riding in an open car. It is stunning. You just can't make it up. I wish everybody in the world could go to one of these meetings of the White Marsh commissioners. You would think we're in a foreign country. Coming up, Democrats think if you're a straight white male, it is like you're in a foreign country. They're spending $20 million to reach straight white males by doing things like putting ads inside video games. Who knew? That's all that they should have done. Why can't Democrats corral as voters straight white males? Well, we've been saying it forever. They hate them. They're against it. They're not woke enough. And Trump was the secret sauce that finally proved what I've been saying right. Can another Republican do that? I'll give you the top 7, the Hill says, are contenders to be the Republican standard bearer in 2028. Now, a lot can happen between now and then, and none of them excite me in the way Trump has excited the base, or realistically could win an election, is what I'm thinking. I'll give you the 7. There's one on here with the right bloodlines, but I don't see it. Maybe you'll differ. And I'll also tell you about how Democrats are trying to reach straight white males. 855-839-1210. You get on board with Dom on Talk Radio 1210.
This is Tracy Stillman. On behalf of Joanne Small-Canella and the entire Crash Proof Retirement team, please listen to this Memorial Day message from our late founder, Phil Cannella.
Memorial Day is a very special and sacred day in America, when we remember those who died while serving in our country's armed forces. Hi, I'm Phil Cannella of the Crash Proof Retirement Show. We join all Americans this weekend in paying tribute and honoring those men and women of the United States military who demonstrated extreme bravery and valor in making the ultimate sacrifice in defense of our freedom. On this Memorial Day weekend, we ask that you take a moment and remember those fallen soldiers who showed us the courage and strength needed to persevere in the face of overwhelming obstacles. America is great today because of their fearlessness and their selflessness. All Americans are unified today in our thanks, respect, and admiration. Be safe this weekend, and God bless America.
Just like our offensive line protects our star quarterback, plumbers protect the health of the nation. And Philadelphia Plumbers Union Local 690 is no different. In hospitals, commercial, industrial, and residential, with the best trained plumbers in the world, you can be sure your project is done on time and on budget, no matter how big or small. So when your business needs to build new or expand existing facilities, you can count on the members of Plumbers Union Local 690. Visit plumbers690.org.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves with Active Liver from New Nordic. Find in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or Amazon, or NewNordicUSA.com. Weather sponsored by Kitchen Magic.
Looking to remodel your kitchen? At Kitchen Magic, our products are made right here in Nazareth, PA, so tariff delays won't impact you. We're family-owned, American-made, and this may save up to 30%. Visit KitchenMagic.com today.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Enjoy the spring weather with some of your favorite tequila and bourbon brands. Head into your local PA Fine Wine and Good Spirit store to take advantage of $2 off 750-milliliter bottles of El Jimador and Herradura Silver Tequila. Also, the world's first Reposado Tequila, Herradura Reposado. And finally, Woodford Reserve Bourbon, the official bourbon of the Kentucky Derby. And don't forget to pick up a 4-pack of Jack and Coke or Jack and Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, ready to drink in a can. Celebrate responsibly. Whiskey Specialty 7% ABF. Jack Daniel's Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniel's and Old Number 7 are registered trademarks of Jack Daniel's Property Inc. Coca-Cola is a trademark of the Coca-Cola Company.
Hey, this is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. How many times are you going to listen to my voice before you finally go to investorschooling.com? I can't believe you haven't signed up for a class yet. You're going to learn real estate investing. You're going to learn stock options trading. You're going to learn things about money that you didn't even know existed. Go to investorschooling.com right now. Oh my goodness. This Thursday, investorschooling.com, and take that free class. See you there.
Broadcasting live from the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Okay, it is downtime. Welcome in, 855-839-1210. National Brothers Day, all-time famous brothers. That's today's side question. 855-839-1210. You get on board. All right, who are the 7 that the Hill says are the top contenders to be the carry-on MAGA, the Republican standard bearer? Well, first of all, some of these would not be MAGA in the slightest. Others do not have the charisma factor. So they say that Rubio, I don't think is MAGA, but I think he's doing an unbelievable job. So there's that, but I don't see the MAGA part of this there in any way. We would have Vance, of course, who I do think gets MAGA, but to be determined. And let's see, we have Don Jr., certainly MAGA, but could he be president? Kristi Noem, look, the guys at the Hill, you think people are going to forget the incident? I think she's doing a great job as Homeland Security, but Kemp from Georgia, oh my God, the real opposite of MAGA. Youngkin, sort of MAGA, but charisma. Ron DeSantis, who was really booed at a WWE event over the weekend and had a disastrous presidential campaign when you realize where DeSantis started out and where he finished, even though I like DeSantis a lot, that's a difficult thing to imagine. Those are the 7 that they have. I don't know if they threw Noam in to have a female in there or not. But that's the latest. Now, it's a long way off. I get it. But none of it has quite the magic of what we're seeing now. All right, let's go to Ray in Doylestown. Ray is in on Talk Radio 1210. Hello, Ray. Welcome in.
Don, thanks for taking my call. Greatly appreciate it. Long-time listener, and you're over the top. You always are. You and Dawn and everybody. You guys are
well,
great.
Thank you. Thank you, Ray, very much.
I jumped in my mind immediately. I had a number of brothers, but the Sullivan brothers, right? Sullivan brothers.
Yeah, why? Tell us why.
Well, they first of all, they all died at sea in World War II, and it spawned the movie Saving Private Ryan, right?
Yes, what a theme throughout the film. Just how Spielberg played that theme was unbelievable.
Absolutely, and it even changed the way the military, put brothers and family in harm's way. In
sure.
Future events. Yeah.
Exactly. The scene where the mom sees the car coming up in Iowa, I guess it is, pulling up in a hillside and collapses. My God, just can't. The drama of it is unbelievable. Ray, thank you. Thanks for the kind words. That is a very good one. The Sullivan brothers. Yeah, I think, was it 4? But the way Spielberg played with that throughout the film was just incredible. All right, 855-839-1210. You can get in just like that. As I said, Democrats now have a plan to reach straight white males. Now, they don't put the word straight in there, but the language in there that the New York Times pulls out. And brilliant ideas like let's put ads in video games. They're wanting to drop words like equity now, although great numbers of Democrats will not do that. A guy named Shane Goldmacher is the one who wrote this. He's the National New York Times political director. And he wrote how desperate this is, how difficult they are at reaching males. He has a great little factoid here. President Trump won a nearly identical percentage of the vote in the battleground state of Arizona, around 52%, as former Vice President Kamala Harris won in the supposedly safe state of New Jersey. Think about that. I'm a little bit surprised that Trump was able to win all the battleground states. You know, it goes 7 for 7. It's a little bit difficult. You got to think there's going to be something to happen in one of them. But to win the popular vote and to do what he did in New Jersey, giving us all hope in the governor's race here with Jack Ciattarelli, that we should be the odds-on favorite, that Jersey is changed. Now, Jersey still has sections that are very difficult. We realize that. But the Democrat Party, he says, has fear, anxiety, real questions about the path forward. And they talk about, you know, the midterms are not a layup. You got to have somebody to beat somebody. Who's there somebody to beat these Republicans? Do we really think Bob Harv DeGrasse is going to beat Brian Fitzpatrick? Is that the best they can do? By the way, a little Bucks County note. I'm a bit watching this. I really like and have had on the Bucks County DA and the sheriff, Fred Herron. Fred Herron is going to be honored as one of our persons of the year because of what he's doing on the illegal immigration front at Dom Day, June 20th, at Mulligan's down there on Hildreth Avenue. I hope that you make plans to be. This is going to be an all-timer. When we talked with Pat Malloy the other day, we are working on getting the polygraph guy down there. Dan and I may go under with some truth serum. Anything can happen. And there was mention of a 300-yard dash. I don't know about that. I was just asking Ro, how fast do you think I could do the 300-yard dash and if I have to beat Dan? That's part of the training for the Abington Police. Pat Malloy was unbelievable on Friday at the Farley event. It was a great time. I hope you heard a lot of our favorites there. Robin Schaefer on the boardwalk with people. It was a great kickoff to the year. And we went over to AC afterward. We were on the boardwalk, the ball drop, and all that stuff they do. And the weather kind of cooperated for most of the time. I'll give you an update. I told you on Friday who Seaside Heights was bringing in to help protect because of Murphy and what Murphy's done as far as allowing teenagers to run amok. Well, they added something to it because of what's been happening over the weekend in Seaside Heights, New Jersey. I don't have any negative reports of Ocean City or Wildwood at this point. You know, I think they really went all out to control it, and the weather wasn't so nice. Once it gets nicer, though, God knows. Let me go to Pat in Willow Grove. Pat is in on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Pat, afternoon to you.
Hey, Tom, how you doing? Happy Memorial Day.
Thank you.
Love your show.
Thank you, Pat, very much, very much.
Just at the Doylestown Parade, it was phenomenal. What a great family event. The stores were all thriving, the bars are open, restaurants, people all over the street just enjoying themselves.
Yeah,
so,
you know what, Pat? That's another spinoff of this. Maybe the police chief of White Marsh Township should attend one of these parades. Yes,
right.
Because Doylestown, and that's a more extensive parade, I bet there's 50 access points. This guy wanted $200,000 to secure a parade that takes, like, it seems to me, 10 or 15 minutes. It's amazing.
It was just a great family event. I highly promote it for next year and the years beyond. It was just a lot of fun just to see. And it was a community event. It was great.
Was there a theme of the parade, though? Is it just military marching, or was there something else?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Local businesses, display signs, old tractors, and things like that. It was just nice. It was a great event.
Yeah. I mean, and do they have July 4th in Doylestown? Do they do that too?
I believe so. Yep, I believe so.
That's the biggie. Memorial Day used to be almost equal, but July 4th, yeah. Soapbox
Derby. Then they
Derby.
have the big bike race up there also, and that's a great event.
Yeah,
Festival.
And of course, it's a Travis Manion bike race later on, or running event. So yeah, Doylestown does well. Who are your brothers, Pat?
All right. Well, two things. First of all, Dom, when you go to Italy, you have to do me a favor. Stop by my dad's hometown, Philadelphia, Italy. It's in Calabria.
Wait a minute. I'm writing that one down to see if we can get that on the schedule with conservative tours. Philadelphia, Italy. Wow, in Calabria.
He spells it with F's. I mean, if you Google it, look it up, it's a nice little town in Calabria. It sits up in the mountains. And I used to argue with my dad all the time when he was alive, how do you spell Philadelphia with F's? And he looked at me, he goes, well, what the hell's PH? What's poof?
Yeah, right. I did not know.
You don't know how to spell.
If we're anywhere near there, we plan to have gravy there in Philadelphia, Italy.
My man with the gravy.
Yeah.
Go get him. And then I got Romulus and Remus, since we're on an Italian theme.
That is, yes, a very right. Let me write that down, Pat. That is a very good one, Pat. Thank you. Happy Memorial Day. Thanks for the call.
Oh, one other thing, Tom. I'm not sure if you're still throwing the football 45 yards, but
40.
I'm in your age group. But if you're ever going to revive that, I'd like to be the receiver for it.
You know what? If you can you make it down to the shore in Mulligan's?
Yes, I'm going to do my best to get down there.
All right. So you just dropped me, Dom Show at AOL. Let me know if you're coming, and we will revive it without a doubt.
All right. I just have to go buy my Stickum gloves. I make sure I catch
Oh, you got to catch it, though, too. Yeah, I'll make sure I lay it right in there. All right, Pat, thank you. Thanks very much. Yeah, we have to do that again. The 300-yard dash, the polygraph, we got it all going on. I'd say get your hotel room. Friday, June 20th, you want to be there at Dom Day at Mulligan's. You heard Johnny the other day, too. New shirts. Last summer, we had the Summer White House. These have more of a tropical theme. He wouldn't even tell me the fullness of it. It's a government secret until we get down there, I guess. So we'll let you know. These shirts go fast, though. So I've never had as much fun as going there 3 times a year or more, depending on conditions. I guess the last time we were there was in August, but we had 4 last year because of May 14th, Trump Day in Wildwood. All right, we got 2 good ones. Sullivan Brothers and Pat in Willow Grove with Romulus and Remus, okay? And he wants to be the receiver, not the thrower. Okay. A little bit later today, I'll replay my interview with Dave Koski, who worked for President Trump running casinos, then with Pat Croce running the Sixers, now runs the great newspapers in the Ocean City area, 7 Mile Beach, and he's touting the cause of Steve Ludlam for the Congressional Medal of Honor. And I thought on Memorial Day, you may not have heard it on Friday. We'll play a little bit of that. And hopefully this summer, it's a project. What's the name is involved? Jeff Andrew. So we'll be ready to go with it. All right, 855-839-1210. That will get you on board. Hey, don't miss out on the memorial sale at Rescue Natural Supplements going on now. With prices rising across the country, Rescue is rolling back pricing to the year 2010. Plus, enjoy their fantastic buy 2 bottles, get 1 free, and buy 3 bottles, get 2 free memorial deals. Stock up on your favorites, save big with rescue rollback pricing and generous free bottle offers. Whether you're in need of 1250 omega-3s, cholesterol supporters, probiotics, or natural pain relief, everything is on sale. To order, call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a rescue product consultant, or you can shop online at res-q.com, res-q.com. Don't miss this opportunity for huge savings on over 50 rescue products to tackle your health goals. Remember, 2010 rollback prices and the memorial deals are going on now through May 29th. So go shop res-q.com. That's res-q.com.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
I would just love to talk to the people that actually did vote for Krasner, and I would just say this. What exactly do you like about Larry Krasner?
We like things that we know.
Big creatures of habit.
We're creatures of habit. Look at the radio landscape. The morning radio show that's #1 in this city is not a good show. It's just that it's been on the air for 30 years. They're firing people left and right.
It's a great point. I think we're like that in a lot of different categories.
Yes.
Yeah, we really are.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
I really need funding to expand my inventory.
Swish Funding can help you expand inventory, upgrade equipment, and boost your cash flow.
Well, okay, but I need funding fast.
Swish Funding provides funding from $25,000 to $2 million with payment terms tailored to your needs and cash in your account in less than 24 hours.
So what's the catch?
No catch. If you've been in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000, you could qualify. Just go to swishfunding.com to apply. That's swishfunding.com.
This is Bill Hoffman, president of Hoffman's Exterminating. We've been protecting Delaware Valley homes and businesses from pests for 35 years, all while supporting our local community. We also support those who protect us, our veterans. Robert Rutherford, our Director of People and Culture, served 10 years in the U.S. Marine Corps. We at Hoffman's have made a commitment to hiring veterans. Our veterans are valued, and the skills you learn in the military are transferable. Join the Hoffman's family and visit us at hoffmansexterminating.com.
Retirement statements just hit mailboxes, and for many, the shock is real. Some investors lost 20% or more in just the first quarter. If you're close to retirement, that's more than a dip. It's a danger. But here's what most advisors won't tell you. Gold was up over 30% during the same time. That's a 60% swing. And in retirement, that kind of gap can change everything. So compare your Q1 statement to gold's performance. Then call Noble Gold Investments. Noble Gold specializes in helping people protect what they've earned with real assets like gold and silver. If you're tired of watching your nest egg shrink, it may be time for a change. And right now, when you open a qualified account, you'll receive a free 10-ounce silver American flag bar. Compare and call 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. Or visit noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
I really need funding to expand my inventory.
Swish Funding can help you expand inventory, upgrade equipment, and boost your cash flow.
Well, okay, but I need funding fast.
Swish Funding provides funding from $25,000 to $2 million with payment terms tailored to your needs and cash in your account in less than 24 hours.
So what's the catch?
No catch. If you've been in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000, you could qualify. Just go to swishfunding.com to apply. That's swishfunding.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
At Wells Fargo, we know what got you into your business. Whether it's manufacturing, running a restaurant, or your business from home. What you didn't get into your business for was banking. But luckily, Wells Fargo offers business checking, payments, and lending all in one place, in your neighborhood and on our app, so you can focus on doing what you love. Wells Fargo, you're good at business, we're good at business banking. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/business. Terms apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
For the pulse of the city, even if it ain't pretty.
The Dom Giordano program.
On Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
Well, that's certainly true. It ain't pretty in Philadelphia as long as you have Larry Krasner, and I'm here to take that pulse. Judge Dugan, open letter, open mic to you. Run, baby, run. Behind sources tell me there's a real shot that Judge Dugan could run. You have to remember he's a Democrat of long standing. The tension is this. Is Krasner such a menace to the Democrats that are reasonable? Think the mayor, Bob Brady, people like that they would give the okay to say, yes, you're not going outside the fold. Krasner is the one outside the fold. Would they give that permission to a judge who might want to be a judge or something else again? If they do, then I think he's going to run. I'd bet at this point he is going to run. Now, winning, the math is not overwhelming to overcome, but you heard that promo with Nick Cale with Greg talking about, well, why would they vote for Krasner? Well, some of it is, the incumbent. Some of it is they're intrigued still. Anybody that tells you, the world isn't the way it is, that we have real criminals in Philadelphia, all Krasner's doing is let them be in a unreality world. It's an unreality show. So could Dugan beat him? I'd say Krasner would have the advantage. But a couple of factors. Dugan, if the building trades pony up again, will fund him. He has better name recognition. He's reasonable. This would be more heated in that we'd have more time for round two here. Yes, I think he could beat him. But we'll see if he decides to do it or not. Otherwise, we're stuck with this. All right, Zanos is with us here on the Dom Show on Talk Radio 1210. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dom.
Well, thank you.
How are you today?
I've never spoken with a Zanos before. Good to have you. What's the meaning in Greek for Zanos?
Actually, it's not Zanos. It's Xenos.
I apologize. Say it one more time.
Xenos.
Xenos. Okay.
Well, that's the way it's pronounced. What the meaning of the word is stranger.
Ah, okay.
So that's I'll be calling you from now on.
Yes.
And the gentleman that called in Italy about Philadelphia.
Yes.
Philadelphia is a Greek word.
Right.
It means city of brotherly love. So in the Greek, when you put two letters together, like the P and the H, it sounds like an F.
Right.
Because that's ancient Greek. So in Italy, they spell it with the F. The right way is the PH, Philadelphia. Because Philo is the love, Delphia is the brother.
Yes, I'm glad we're doing something spelling right for once here, Zanos. Who are your brothers?
Artemis and Apollo.
Why those two?
Well, they're part of Greek mythology.
Yes.
He was of mathematics, and the other one I think was with the bow, if I'm not mistaken, with my Greek mythology.
Well, listen, you should be the expert on it. Yeah, I do hope you call us more. You're the first person we had that's, occasionally we have somebody who identifies as being Greek calling in. But, yeah, please become a regular.
I am going to be a regular from now on. And I just had a hard time, for getting the number down because they were saying it so fast. But, I'm going to be a regular. But that's the thing with Philadelphia. It is Greek. And that part of Calabria where he's talking about, in the ancient Greek world, the Greeks settled there. And so they did
right.
Sicily, too.
You know how we know that? Godfather 2, Apollonia. Remember, she was Grecian.
She was a Grecian, yes. And that's why, they're kindred spirits with us Greeks, the Italians. We consider them our brothers, believe it or not.
No, I do believe. We're going to Sicily and Calabria, Zanos. So, yeah.
You love Sicily, and that was another part where the Corinthians settled there, and we have a long history together.
Absolutely. Well, please do call again. Thank you, Zanos, very much. It's a pleasure coming in on an off day like Memorial Day. You get new listeners, you get new people. They're traveling, they have more time, whatever. 855-839-1210. You can get in. I do hope we hear from them again. And we are going in the fall to Sicily and Calabria, Rose Country, conservative tours. Just go to conservativetours.com. Take a look at the trip. It's unbelievable. And the beauty part of it is you are with Talk Radio 1210 listeners. Last time Ro and I went was 2 years ago in this August. And we went to, we had taken listeners before to Rome and places like this. So this time we caught up with the tour in Venice and then Lake Como and places like that. It was conservative tours. Anywhere they go, you got to go. The owner has become friends over the years, and Ken Chase, it's incredible. The local color, the culture they tap you into, where you go to dinner. It's not a tourist type of thing at all. It's so much different. Now, Giuseppe, one of the guides, still calls it sauce. But okay, we'll see this time when I get to Italy. I don't know if he'll be one of our guides or not. Coming up, I'm not going to say, because I don't want anybody to look it up, but there's a brand new survey out there today that says that people are looking more at price when they choose a brand name rather than the culture wars. Remember the culture wars? This one trying to say George Floyd summer, we're pro Black Lives Matter, or DEI, or gay pride. By the way, with gay pride parades, etc., because of DEI and the pushback from Trump, a lot of sponsors are pulling from that. Now, Trump is not pushing back on gay people or anything like that. Let's stop it. It's a trans issue. So let's stop it already as we start to move into gay pride parades and things of that nature. But I have the number one that was number 13 from last year, the company brand name that people feel the best about. You can take a shot at that. I'll give you the top ones, and I'll give you the ones that are polarizing, meaning more Republicans like this one than a lot of Democrats, or more Democrats like this brand more than a lot of Republicans, which is still there. Case in point, this one has a reputation score of 82.1. It's 82.9 from Dems and 81.1 from Republicans. That is incredible to have that. It's the number one ranked out there based on polarization score and overall score, meaning people really like this. I don't get it. I don't get why it is that wildly popular. It's okay. I wouldn't go out of the way for this, but I have personal experience of how much people beat a path to its door. All that in a big 1 o'clock hour with Dom on Talk Radio 1210.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli here with my friend Matt from Emmons Roofing and Siding. If you're like me, your house took a real beating this winter from all the snow, ice, and storms.
At Emmons Roofing and Siding, we're here to put it back together. We specialize in storm-resistant roofing and siding systems designed to last no matter what Mother Nature throws at it.
Well, Emmons is who I use and recommend, so call Emmons today at 856-556-3229 for a free roof inspection.
Or visit us at callemmons.com.
Callemmons.com. Emmons, protecting homes one one roof at a time.
All right, man. I'm finally doing it. I'm proposing, but I need the perfect ring. Where do I go?
Dude, you need to go to Cozy Jewelers in Newtown Square. They've got a fully stocked case for same-day pickup, or Paul Cozy can create a custom piece just for her. Plus, their diamonds are hand-set and hand-picked. Step up to the 5th C, bro. Color, cut, clarity, carat, and cozy.
I'm in. Found them. CozyJewelers.com. And they're Insta at Cozy Jewelers. This ring is going to be legendary.
Step up to the 5th C, Cozy Jewelers.
Don't miss the Education Show with Dom Giordano every Sunday morning at 5:30. Find out how you can help your child or grandchild succeed. Sponsored by New Hope Academy.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning, life, and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. No application fee if you apply by May 30th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Inflation, interest rates, and the Fed. How to make sense of it all? Join Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Saturdays at 5 p.m. and Sundays at 9 a.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hit the road this season to watch our world champion football team. Book your trip with Fans of Philly. Trips are now available for pre-order to Kansas City, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, and more. Travel in style with transportation, a pregame party, and game tickets to enjoy the Birds on the road this season with Fans of Philly, the official travel partner of 94 WIP and the Eagles Radio Network. Book now at fansofphilly.com. That's fans with a PH of Philly.com. Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time on Memorial Day. Welcome in, everyone. Love to get you on board at 855-839-1210. Saturday was National Brothers Day. Hit us with those all-time brothers, duo or trio. I have to think of four. Sullivan Brothers, there were four. And tell us why. And your name might go into the hat for the big prize at the end of the week. Also, no prize on this. Just I find it to be incredible. What is in this most, don't want to say the name of the poll, the company that has moved up as a brand name because almost equal numbers of Democrats and Republicans love this brand name. The average polarization score, the gap between how Republicans and Democrats view a brand's reputation dropped to 2.55 points among the top highest rated companies. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. Arizona Beverage Company, known for its giant 99-cent cans of teas, is the one brand in the top 10 for consumers of both parties, number 3 for Republicans, number 7 for Democrats. So they both like it out of the top 10 brands. They say, are we moving past polarization? Well, there are some that are still very polarized. Arizona Beverage was seen by Republicans as the most reputable companies. Chick-fil-A, John Deere, and Arizona Beverage. I would have thought Chick-fil-A. John Deere's got a lot of DEI stuff going on. Democrats gave Costco, I'm down on Costco. They are just boldly still sticking with the DEI stuff. Unilever, which includes Ben & Jerry's ice cream, and Patagonia were tops among Democrats. Several companies that made the top 10 list skew blue or red. As far as all this polarization, like Walt Disney had a plus 12.3D. Views about the war in Gaza, vaccines, and LGBTQ plus rights help explain the disparities. Even bigger gaps are seen for companies that most skew toward Republicans. Tesla is a plus 32.3 R. X, or Twitter, 29.5. How in the world is Twitter suddenly that poll? Well, because they don't like it that we have skin in the big game. And SpaceX is 28.7 Republican. The Trump Organization is 45.3 R. Okay? The most polarizing brands that lean Republican are near the bottom for overall reputation, 86, 95, 99, 98 in the top 100. The most polarizing brands that lean Democrat are 24, 61, and 76. Who are some of the top 10, though? Who is the one that everybody, and it went up 12 points. I mean, it went up 12 spots. It was number 13. It is number 1 now. And I don't know how that's the case. All right, 855-839-1210. Its 2025 score is 82.1. That's pretty good stuff, that people would like it that much, okay? We've been talking about Eddie Vedder backing up Bruce Springsteen on Memorial Day and saying, all Springsteen wanted to do was debate the issues with President Trump. Yeah, really, let's debate the issues with this guy. You know, how much do you think Springsteen could debate any issue at any point, or Eddie Vedder for that matter? Stay in your lane, guys. What are you talking about here? Also, the issue of Seaside Heights, the Jersey Shore. Before I take any more calls, I told you on Friday that Seaside Heights had the FBI there. Now, if you're a new listener, you haven't heard me break this down. When did this start that places like Ocean City, Wildwood, you know, historically there's been okay, we get that, but not like it has been. Well, it started when Jersey legalized marijuana. And the then Attorney General got it into his head that the police are racist. They can't go after adults with marijuana now. So what are they going to do? They're going to go after black and brown kids, he said. So to stop that, he essentially took away the power by directive of police and chilled them by saying they were facing second-degree felonies if they even appeared to be violating any of this stuff. And these kids picked up on it. We were off to the races. Now, as I said, it's one thing, Seaside Heights or Wildwood. But you know where the epicenter became? Ocean City. Now, I think Ocean City's handling business this weekend, but I think they would say it's a little hard to tell because the weather hasn't been overwhelmingly good yet. When you get that nice weather, temperatures high, extended period of time, somewhere mid-June plus, we're going to be looking at more. But see, in Seaside Heights, chaos. I told you on Friday they had the FBI standing by. Reports say summer's off to a rocky start in Seaside Heights, Ocean County, as police had to stop several stabbings, unruly juveniles, violence, etc., including SWAT teams. Prompting police to deploy SWAT teams and backup officers. SWAT teams. I told you the FBI was there. I think with the cooperation of the Trump administration to help out and make the point about Murphy and progressives and what they cause. And that's the genesis of where all this came from. I'm not talking about, you know, occasional trouble. We know that every summer, Wildwood, yada, yada, yada. We know all that. Ocean City, it was unprecedented what's been going on. I commend them. They're taking action there. We had on Keith Hartzell, one of the former council people there. I think it was Hartzell who told us they would have 59. They have 59 full-time police. They were adding 53 summer police. And there were no days off from the day before the Friday, I think, Saturday, Sunday, and today, Monday. in Ocean City for the police to send a message of deterrence. No, you're not going to do this nonsense here. And that's where it comes from. That's what progressivism does. Progressivism, another sighting, is what they have over in White Marsh Township, where if you missed the first hour today, I've been told, now they're backpedaling, or are they? They're going to hold another meeting on this coming Wednesday, 6:30 at the Barron Hill Fire Department, in order to talk about how they can celebrate. Can you imagine? What country do these people live in on this day when so many have sacrificed so much for our way of life? People like White Marsh Township, the commissioners there, and the police chief can just snatch it away in their cowardly action. Their zombie world, their bizarro world, where I witnessed it on Wednesday night. The one guy stood up there and apologized for everything and then said, no, we can't do the parade because there are 28 access points. It would cost $200,000 to protect them, and we couldn't get the Jersey barriers and all this stuff in place in time. They rejected citizens who were appalled, saying, what about doing it on Flowertown Road, this, that, or the other? Nah, can't do that. And others have said, our 250th anniversary is coming up next year. Well, we'll have to see what we can do. How did the country move toward, I mean, would this have happened even 20 years ago? Would you see this brazen idiocy that we see in White Marsh Township? It's stunning. It's just unexplainable. To see them fundamentally not getting what America's about. They don't get it. They shouldn't be representatives. The police chief, I don't think he ought to be a police chief. He goes to one seminar, and what he comes up with is, oh my God, Armageddon. 855-839-1210. All right, hit me with that number one brand that has widespread approval of both Democrats and Republicans. I'll give you some in the top 8 that I've had. Arizona Beverage Company, Samsung, Costco is number 5. Some of the ones higher up, though, I thought are a little bit more, would skew a little bit more, maybe Democrat. Patagonia, for example, is number 2. This one, though, roundly, people love it. What is the secret sauce that drives this? Is this really, and I've witnessed it, I've seen car jams in 2 places, not just one, where you can get this product, this store, in the Delaware Valley. It is one of the most remarkable things I've ever seen. It's not that I'm not a fan. It's just that I'm not gaga over it to go through this. You may be. You can explain it. 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. All right, let's go to Chef Dave in Oak Lynn. Dave is in on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Dave. Good afternoon. Hi.
Happy Memorial Day, Dom.
Thank you, Dave.
And when you go to Italy, you should visit an American World War II cemetery. That's just what I would do.
That's not a bad. I bet Palermo strikes me as one. I remember the race between Montgomery and Patton to get to Palermo. Yeah.
Yeah, in the movie. Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right, my side question is Pete and Charles Gogolak.
Kickers.
The first soccer-style kickers in the NFL.
Yeah, now, that you explained it well, but is that a good thing?
Yeah, very good thing.
Why, you're a soccer fan, Dave.
No, I'm not a soccer fan. I hate soccer. I'm a football fan. You kidding me?
Yeah, well, true. I remember back to the days of Lou the Toe Groza, so and those guys
what's
couldn't.
What's the name? The guy that kicked the 64-yard field goal with half a foot.
Yeah.
That Dempsey, was, I think his name was.
Dempsey, and that was an advantage. I hate to say it, but, yeah, before soccer, a 50-yard field goal was unheard of, or almost unheard of, yeah.
Oh yeah. And, they revolutionized it, and, now they're more accurate, and they kick further.
All right, Dave, thank you. That is a good one, and the way you explain it is very good. Yeah, again, people bring it up. We're headed to Italy in October, but now's the time to commit conservative tours. I hope that you'll consider nothing like traveling with listeners. I don't remember if we went to an American military cemetery, but it's got to be one, Palermo, places like that. That's a good suggestion. I also like Santos and Apollonia in Godfather 2. All right, hit us with that all-time brand, at least this year, based upon both sides approve. Here are the rest of the top 10. Patagonia, Microsoft. I don't know. I thought Microsoft would skew more Democrat. Toyota is in 4. Costco, Samsung, Arizona Beverage Company, and NVIDIA. They're all in the top 8 that I have. There is one, the number one I haven't given yet. What is it? When we get it, I want to ask, are you gaga over this? People apparently are. Sad to report the passing of Phil Robertson, the patriarch of the show that was a phenomenon. If you remember, it was number one for quite a period of time. Then it died off as if it never existed. But Duck Dynasty, one of the first of the reality shows. What was the attraction of that show? Well, these guys were not exactly the most, you meet them on any street corner. Robertson passes away at the age of 79. This is cut 16, Sean. Here's Phil Robertson. His 7-second Trump rally speech. Here's what he said about President Trump.
I got it down to this. If you're pro-God and pro-America and pro-gun and pro-duck hunting, that's all I want.
That's a way to give an endorsement. If you're X, Y, and Z, maybe broaden it out a little bit. That's all I want. Not even all I need. That's all I want. Passes away at the age of 79. One of the all-time great 2 or 3 years of it, at least, reality show as America discovered Duck Dynasty. And I don't remember the channel, the distributor and all. I just know it was hot. The beards, the whole thing, the way of talking, the duck hunting, the quacking. And that was a great endorsement speech with Trump just standing there. I got it down to these things. Not a bad platform to run. Now, could Democrats run on that? Are they pro-God? No, not really. I'm talking about the Democrat Party at the top. Are they pro-America? Certainly that's not the case. Are they pro-gun? Well, and duck hunting, by the time you get to the point. Remember John Kerry out there hunting? Oh, my God. Can you picture AOC out there in the swamps hunting? 855-839-1210. You get on board. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do, you just push pound 1210. Coming to your calls next with Dom on Talk Radio 1210.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
For all of you dopes out there that want to support that, the Intifada, that's killing you, whether you're Jewish or American, whether you're Jewish or Catholic, no matter what your race or religion might be. If you believe in Western values, they want you dead. So keep marching like an idiot. So when you protest, why don't you just go to Gaza, just get a flight, fly to Hamburg, get a connecting flight, get on a boat, do whatever you have to do, and just please go.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Hey, it's Joe to Camera. I've got the perfect Father's Day gift for you. Tickets to see the story of Philly sports put to music. With Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra, I've seen the show. It's phenomenal. Conklin with all of his voices and songs, plus celebrity guests. It's sports. It's comedy. It's music. It's Philly.
See Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at Wildwood High School on Baker Ave, Friday, July 11th, and at the Ocean City Music Pier, Saturday, July 12th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. JoeConklin.com!
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. Summer starts here at Tri-County Toyota, where the deals are heating up for the month of May. Right now, get 4.99% financing for 60 months on select new Toyotas, including the 2025 Corolla, the 2025 Camry, the 2025 Prius, the 2025 RAV4, the 2025 Highlander, and the 2025 Grand Highlander. Plus, choose from over 70 trucks they have in stock, with rates starting at 1.99% on the new 2024 Tacoma and a new 2025 Tundra. Visit online at tricountytoyota.com to see more.
I'm Jalen Hurst here for Window Nation. If you're a fan of saving money, Listen up.
Beat the heat with Window Nation's semi-annual sale. Buy 4 windows, get 4 free, and a free entry door when you purchase a full house of windows. Plus, no money down, no interest, and no monthly payments until 2027 and a lifetime warranty. Hurry, sale ends May 31st. Tell them you heard it on 1210 WPHT.
Don't pay more than you have to for new windows. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Weather sponsored by MTRule.com, your Generac generator experts. That's MTRUHL.com. Weather sponsored by the Piazza Auto Group. Visit your local Piazza Honda dealer in Philadelphia, Langhorne, Pottstown, Reading, or Springfield to explore the 2025 North American Car of the Year, the Civic Hybrid. Shop PiazzaHonda.com for special offers.
This is Tracy Stillman. On behalf of Joanne Small-Canella and the entire Crash Proof Retirement team, please listen to this Memorial Day message from our late founder, Phil Canella.
Memorial Day is a very special and sacred day in America, when we remember those who died while serving in our country's armed forces. Hi, I'm Phil Canella of the Crash Proof Retirement Show. We join all Americans this weekend in paying tribute and honoring those men and women of the United States military who demonstrated extreme bravery and valor in making the ultimate sacrifice in defense of our freedom. On this Memorial Day weekend, we ask that you take a moment and remember those fallen soldiers who showed us the courage and strength needed to persevere in the face of overwhelming obstacles. America is great today because of their fearlessness and their selflessness. All Americans are unified today in our thanks, respect, and admiration. Be safe this weekend, and God bless America.
From Pottstown to Vincenttown, we know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Dom Giordano Show. Great to be with you today. 855-839-1210, AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is just push pound 1210 and we'll get you in. All right, I'll give you that number one brand. It's Trader Joe's. Okay, why? Where we shop occasionally, there's a Joseph A. Bank. There's a restaurant we like. English Village up there right near the Montgomeryville Mall. It's amazing. I overheard 2 women, Ro was shopping at Hallmark cards and gifts there, say it's endless. The parade of cars circling, looking for a parking place, and then coming into Trader Joe's, which is right there. Downtown Philadelphia. When I leave in the afternoons around 3:35, 3:40, right? Should be able to go down Chestnut. We're at about 24th. Turn left at 22nd and Chestnut to proceed to go up Chestnut onto the drive. Okay? And routinely, there's a big block up between 22nd and Market and 22nd and Chestnut. Reason? Well, a lot of people walk across the street that time of day. It's not too far from the train station. A lot of cars are turning left to go to said train station to get on the expressway or whatever. That lane's slow. On the right, it might move, except Trader Joe's is right there on the corner of 22nd and Market. There's a parking lot there. They usually have someone directing people in, but still, there's a 6 to 8 car wait of people to get into a pretty fair-sized parking lot for Trader Joe's. What the heck is up with that? What is so overwhelming? I'm not down on it. I mean, I've been there a couple times to Trader Joe's. I get the quiche-ness of it, and it's niche, not niche. But what the heck is up with it? And I wonder if they say sauce or gravy. Probably sauce, and it doesn't matter. All right, so it is a phenom. And in this polling, Trader Joe's polls almost equally well. Democrats, it's about 82 approval. Republicans, it's about 81. How many things in America are that highly approved and yet agreed upon? What is it they've done? What is the secret sauce? I see it every day. It is incredible. All right, one other thing. We have been bringing on a lot Pennsylvania Treasurer Stacey Garrity. I launched a podcast that I'll be telling you about on school choice, big time, a lot of backing. And she's one of the people we've interviewed. Her military service, the benefits, the cost benefits of this. She just put out a directive the other day that her office, she's proud of, has returned 500 military decorations to veterans and families. She said, as the state treasurer, I safeguard every taxpayer dollar, but one of my favorite parts of the job isn't about money at all. It's the work Treasury does to honor and thank our veterans and their families by returning military medals that become unclaimed property. Now, I think she's going to run. I think certainly she's the nominee for me on the Republican side. And I think her appeal in rural Pennsylvania particularly, the military background, she's going to give a heck of a fight to Josh Shapiro. The only thing is I'm encouraging her that she's got to be more in Philadelphia, in our area. People don't know her. They don't know the name. It's a name recognition thing. Would give him the edge. And she could do extremely well in a lot of the state that I don't know that well if she doesn't rally people here somewhat in the 5-county area, including Philadelphia, then Josh Shapiro will win going away. To have any kind of parity, she's going to have to do better here. I think it's doable. Could she beat him? Yes. But at worst, she'll put him in a real dogfight where maybe this guy will be dinged up a lot and he won't be seen as the prime Democrat that can masquerade. You know what is masquerade? This is typical Josh Shapiro, and the media, local media, loves this. They're saying, well, you can't blame him for Joe Biden. Yeah, he publicly said he was sharp and all that. Then they go, but privately, Josh Shapiro was telling him maybe you should quit. Can you imagine this story that's out there with this guy? No, he publicly, along with the others, up and down the line, touted the fact that Joe Biden was a sharp, he's exhausting younger people, and all this nonsense. His claim is he had coffee with the Bidens here in Pennsylvania, and in the private meeting, he started to say how things were deteriorating, but Dr. Jill Biden said, they had to go now, had to go, get that motorcade running. So we'll see. The local media, though, covering this for him, they love this guy. I think Stacey Garrity is the ticket to challenge this based upon conversations, etc. So hopefully we're going to start moving on that. And that will be a huge, huge election with national consequences. All right, here's how you get in, though. 855-839-1210. Coming up, I talked with Dave Koski, who worked for, man, talk about it also. He worked for Trump. He worked for Pat Croce. He worked for Ed Snyder. Casinos, sports entertainment, Sixers. And now he runs a string of newspapers in the Ocean City, Jersey Shore. He was with me because he's touting the case of Stephen Ludlam, World War II hero from the 7 Mile Beach area, for the Congressional Medal of Honor. And he's contacted President Trump. He's contacted Jeff Van Drew. And this summer, it's kind of one of our side things to tout this, to move it forward on all of our occasions at the shore or any chance, like Memorial Day, to do that. So I'll play you that interview so you can hear Koski talking about Ludlam and how we might help this cause, and we'll try to move it along as best we can. It gives you a big platform here on things like this, and I thought particularly on Memorial Day, you may have missed it on Friday. We'll play you a little bit of it on a very special day. Phone lines are 855-839-1210.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
At California Psychics, we know some people can't read the career warning signs, like your boss still not knowing your name.
You, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Carrie, ma'am. Just get it done, Terry.
So talk to California Psychics and receive the career guidance you need. We only connect you with the very best, so guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now, there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's. Hours may vary by location. Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co., LLC. Used with permission.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated, but your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business, with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Hey, it's Mike Quick. It's time to cut your old point-of-sale systems and revolutionize your business with PDQ POS. Joe Flynn and his team at PDQ have been the industry leaders for over 35 years. They offer everything from mobile POS to self-serve kiosks and the best service and support in the industry. For the fastest, easiest, and most reliable POS available, trust PDQ POS. No matter how many locations you have, they'll build a custom solution for your business. Visit pdqpos.com.
Family and Company Jewelers on Route 70 in Marlton, New Jersey is South Jersey's diamond destination and your trusted jeweler for quality, service, and price. You can choose from the largest selection of engagement rings in the area, or you can have their master jewelers create a custom one-of-a-kind ring just for your special day. Visit their showroom or shop online at familyjewelers.com. Family and Company Jewelers, South Jersey's diamond destination.
Family and Company Jewelers, South Jersey's diamond destination.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT from the Piazza Auto Group Studios. Experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations.
All right, Dom Giordano Show, 855-839-1210, Memorial Day. Here's a little bit of my conversation with Dave Koski, a local hero, somebody this summer as we move back and forth to the shore. I think it's always a good thing. One summer, we were very much, every time we were there, touting the whales story, which we have an update on that coming up this week, and what was happening with Phil Murphy and the disaster that he put upon us, and we've stopped him so far. This is more positive. It's Steve Ludlam, forgotten hero, being unforgotten, and the Congressional Medal, or I think they simply call it the Medal of Honor now, the Congressional Medal of Honor. Here's Dave Koski with Dom Giordano.
On the way to Cape May.
All right, classic here. Dan at the controls, Henry with me. Dom Giordano Show at the Farley Plaza with Dave Koski. And Dave, we were talking during the break. This is a very crowded Farley Plaza today, and I don't understand it because usually weather not so nice. Last year it was sunny. It wasn't nearly as crowded as this. There's a big farmer's market, a lot to do. What the heck's happening? Why is everybody going to the Jersey Shore?
I was just saying to Henry beforehand, driving up, there's always obviously more traffic on Memorial Day weekend, but it's already backed up, like a mid-July weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is great for the shore.
Yeah, exactly. So, Dave, before we talk about your latest crusade, I'll call it that because I think it's worthy of it, this 7 Mile Beach hero, Steve Ludlam. First of all, some of the bosses you work for are a Hall of Fame. One you didn't get along with. I don't think I know of him, and I can imagine, based upon what I've heard, Katz. It was a little bit. But you also work for Pat Croce,
right?
Who is demanding of himself, but seemed like a good guy to work for, would not be demanding in the sense of a dictator demanding.
Well, by the way, Pat Croce today from 4 to 5, Pete and Chicky and Pete's are picking up.
Right.
Well, I think the first person to do that was Pat Croce.
Ah, okay.
Probably in 1998.
Okay.
He went and stood in the toll booth and paid tolls. He did for about an hour or two for cars going in, pick up
Was
the
he
tolls.
the Sixers then, or no?
Yes,
Yeah,
that was-
a Sixers stunt. Well, we need him back at the Sixers, obviously.
That was one of his. That was one of his. One of his first attempts to really set the city on its ear, and
Right,
you know,
he
it was Memorial Day weekend, and that's what it was this weekend.
Right,
and he went there and paid tolls, and
well, he also walked to the top of the Walt Whitman or Ben
Bridge.
Franklin to put the banner, and every time I drive by there, I think of that.
Well, he also painted the. He went up to paint the Conley water tower on, out in Conshohocken on the curve there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's one boss. How was he?
He was awesome.
Yeah.
He's Pat.
So then you worked for another big-time boss, Donald Trump.
Well, before Pat.
Before Pat. Okay.
Yes.
And that was casino business?
Yes, I was one of his vice presidents at Trump Plaza.
Okay. What was that like?
As I've told lots of people, that was in the shortest period of time, the most education I had ever gotten from a marketing standpoint. From
Well, wait a minute. That's why I brought it up. You talk about two marketeers, Trump and Croce.
Exactly.
I think Croce matches him, not the money and resources and all that, but it's for different kinds of marketeer.
Different kinds.
Yeah. So you then put into play a lot of these things we saw in sports, casinos, etc.
I certainly learned from both. Yes.
I got to ask, Dave, were you the guy that brought WrestleMania to Trump Plaza?
No, actually, WrestleMania was my first event at Trump Plaza.
Look at that.
I was there. I was there though for Holyfield Foreman when we had George represent our all-you-can-eat buffet at the time. he was on billboards.
Was everything
in
on the
Atlantic
buffet
City.
made with a Foreman grill?
He was on. This was before the Foreman grill.
Okay.
He was on billboards up and down the expressway, inviting you all to come to Trump Plaza for all you could eat at the buffet, and it was
unbelievable. So now you've morphed into, how many papers is it at the Jersey Shore?
We have the 7 Mile Times and the Seattle Times.
Okay. And the 7 Mile Times I have in front of me, it's a great compendium, my goodness, of what's happening at the Jersey Shore this summer.
The amazing thing is, we, like that issue that you have in front of you, we'll distribute 32,000 copies, which in the world of print these days is pretty substantial.
And one of the things you're doing with the paper, too, to get started here, and we're talking off-air and with listeners, very appropriate for Memorial Day. Why did you seize upon this hero from the 7 Mile Beach? How did that come about? World War II, Steve Ludlam, what did he do?
If you can read his story. In fact, for the folks in radio, it's online too, so they can read it online. But he was just a high school kid from Stone Harbor, who went to school up in the West Town School up in Chester County, for high school, and turned 18 in October. December 3rd, got a draft notice, had a report to Ocean City. Reported for duty, for the draft. On January 4th, he was on a train on the way to basic training in Florida, and pretty much never came back again. He got one furlough, and he was wounded over in Europe. And then, if you take a look at his story, he got both the Silver Cross and a Purple Heart because he held down a position on a frozen field in France and held off a German machine gun battery for 45 minutes. And we were lucky enough to work with a historian from his company who went back and checked all the records from those days. And he was I guess what really, as we were researching the story, what really hit home is we read some of the letters that he wrote home, and he essentially was a kid who, he missed his boat, he missed fishing, he missed his girlfriend, he missed his mom and dad, and, suddenly he's 3,000 miles away, and
this is a very significant period, though, that you mentioned the frozen field in France, holding that off. That's the time, it's the Battle of the Bulge-esque to me of what was going on, the last big counteroffensive of the war. And I take your point, too. Here's a guy, it's almost the end of the war, killed in this type of action.
At such an early part of his life, too.
Exactly.
I mean, he's
was he involved in Normandy, the storming of any of that, or the approach?
Their company was not. They were. There's a full rundown of all the battles they were in, and like I said, he was actually wounded at one point, and the historian of his company was surprised that he wasn't sent home for that. He was in a hospital for 2 months in France, and then sent right back to the front again. And as Memorial Day comes around, we all think about it at the beginning of summer, and I know at the time that we first started researching this, I still had kids that were around that age, and very easily relatable to when you see.
What's the progress on this, Dave? You've contacted, of course, the big guy.
We just literally just started. We sent it to President Trump and to Jeff Van Drew, and really where the idea came from was I saw the ceremony last year when they were giving. They call it the Medal of Honor now, but it used to be called the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Right.
And
he changed. By the way, I like the Congressional Medal of Honor. I'll tell you why. Too many changes in history and all. People forget. Here's what they say. Oh, the Medal of Honor, is that different? Everybody knows still the Congressional Medal of Honor. It's the thing that stands out there. And I've learned, I didn't know this before talk radio, you don't win it. Never say that. You're given it, you're honored, you're a recipient of it, that kind of thing. And it's such a club. They're horrible on the radio, Dave, because and this guy would be a horrible radio guest. I'll tell you why. They're such heroes, they don't talk about it. Not just because they don't want to, they're just the type of guys that did their duty and did it in an unbelievable manner, and they don't need to amplify it.
Yeah.
And this strikes me as that type of story.
From everything that I've heard from people who knew him as a kid in Stone Harbor, he was just a very, very special person. And it's then the reason that we started pushing for the Medal of Honor was because unfortunately, as time goes by, a lot of those folks that knew him unfortunately have passed or are passing now, and not as many people know him or know the sacrifice that he made, and we just think that it would be nice to remind everybody of the sacrifice that this teenager made on behalf of all of us.
Yeah, it seems that, too, the Medal of Honor, it becomes sort of a thing to amplify a particular war or particular circumstances, and we're kind of moving away from World War II in that. So this was a good way to remind us.
There were people last year that were posthumously honored, and that's what kind of caught my attention. That, along with, it seemed like there were a lot of political donors, too, and I thought people like this were certainly much more deserving than political donors, but call me crazy.
Exactly. So all right,
you set up,
that is Dave Koski. Sean, thank you. And as we move into summertime here on the Dom Show, and particularly as we go down there, Dom Day is just weeks away on June 20th. Make sure you get ready for that at Mulligan's with Johnny and some wild stuff that we have dreamed up for it. Our attention turns to something shore-related, when we go down the whole summer, our focus. And this is something where Steve Ludlam, Dave Koski, will have more on that. And again, we know that Jeff Andrews involved, and that's always good to hear that. when he is, that we get movement on this, and Dave Koski worked with President Trump, so maybe there's a pipeline there. The story is that the 7 Mile beach, as he mentioned, it's a lengthy piece that's written about it, and there'll be a lot more, and we'll keep you apprised of it. I just thought on Memorial Day, this is something very worthy. All right, more calls coming up. 855-839-1210. Side question today. Friday was National Brothers Day. Hit us with an all-time brothers combo or trio, living or dead. We've had some great ones way back in history, Romulus and Remus. We've had the Sullivan brothers and a bunch of others so far. So hit us with that all-time, think outside the box a little bit. I took off the board Cain and Abel, Marx brothers, and the Wright brothers. You know, when you have brothers on there, it tells you that if they're known by that, you know, they go, it's not just, oh, I didn't know they were brothers. Then it's a kind of a banner of it. 855-839-1210.
Walter Sterling.
If, like, in about 6 hours, I'm supposed to go to a party or a barbecue or something horrible with other people, if my wife or my kids come to me and say, oh, well, that's been canceled, or you don't have to go, what could be a greater gift to me than that? That would be the greatest joy I could know.
Sterling. Every damn night. Sunday through Friday nights at 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. An accredited state university, University of Maryland Global Campus offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. No application fee if you apply by May 30th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Lexus of Cherry Hill, an elite of Lexus dealer and a 7-time J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence for the customer sales experience. Why would you buy your Lexus from anyone else? The 2025 Lexus models are here and moving fast. Tony and his team at Lexus of Cherry Hill are your source for the Lexus of your dreams. Over 300 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Face it, you deserve a Lexus, and you deserve award-winning customer service. Start your journey at lexusofcherryhill.com.
For J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence information, visit jdpower.com/US-DOE.
Free speech in Philly on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
All right, it is Dom time, 855-839-1210. Easy one today. Brothers, duo, trio. Hit us with that at the end of your call. Nothing breaking news. I did mention President Trump at Arlington today, and sadly, I got to go back and get the official box score, if you will, but I think President Obama missed at least twice. You really shouldn't be president if you can't go to Arlington on Memorial Day. You know, this is part of the duty that goes with it. There's nothing like a presidential visit, the laying of the wreath, etc. I don't want more laws, but my God, in your mind, it's got to be mandatory. This is one of those things that you do as a president. It's just no doubt about it. All right, let's go to Bill in Bucks. He's in on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Bill, good afternoon. Yo, Bill. Hello, Bill.
That all the parades went off as scheduled.
Where were there parades, Bill? Where
we had one in Percy, we had one in Ivyland, one in Warminster, and Upper Moreland had one, and everything went well. No problem.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to dictate a letter. Maybe I should take out a billboard. I was thinking about it in White Marsh Township. Dear Police Commissioner, The following had parades on Memorial Day, and then in small print, a laundry list, Bill, of these. Why can't you?
We're in Bucks County. We're adjacent to Montgomery County. I mean, what's the problem down there?
They're holding.
They did it in Upper Moreland and Hatboro.
Yeah, if you missed it, Bill, they're holding another meeting where they're going to consider some kind of celebration for July 4th. They're not saying parade. They're doing it at a firehouse. I don't know if the public's even invited. I witnessed these people. It's the nonsense.
Well, they're violating the Sunshine Act if they do anything like that.
Yeah, I would think so. So I plan to attend again. I can't get enough of seeing Bizarro World in front of me. It's entertaining, except I'm sad for the people in White Marsh.
It is, and White Marsh, is it's a long-established township out there. I just don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I just can't figure it out.
Who are your brothers?
My brothers are Dennis, Carl, and Brian Wilson, also known as the Beach Boys.
That's a great one. Thank you, Bill. Enjoy the rest of the day. Yeah, and the publication there, More Than the Curve, attacks me and my colleague Nick Kale, but mainly me, for not understanding what's going on. Are you insane? It's bizarre. You just heard, Bill, the litany of parades that happened today. If you've missed this, and it made international news, people are like, what? I went to the town meeting, the most recent one. First of all, a lot of the commissioners were not there to face the music. They essentially put up the police chief, and I'm waiting for the big moment, the reveal. The moment like, oh, now we understand. He just rattled on that he went to a Homeland Security, then he went to a Highland Park demonstration of the people of Highland Park. And after hearing about Highland Park, he was convinced, essentially, he couldn't do a 0.8 of a mile parade in White Marsh Township. And people are pleading, well, the 250 is next year. And they're saying, we're taking that under advisement. We'll have to see about that. Where do these people come from? Both nationally in the Democrat Party, and they're all Democrats there, or this police chief that they hired? Where does a guy go to a presentation? And instead of saying, all right, and I had Pat Malloy on, who is an esteemed police commissioner from Abington, with me on Friday. And he's like, what the heck? Yes, we have cops out there. We're ready. If somebody tries to do something, I don't even want to delineate what they would try to do to give ideas. We're ready. That's what you should be doing. This guy started talking about soft targets are the following. Like we don't know that a parade is. So that means no parades. You just heard Bill of Bucks. How much do I have to go through this? What other actions had to be taken to get people to come to their senses? I don't know that they could do their own parade. You still would need the police. They wouldn't do it. People suggested a different route. People suggested a really cordon off route. They're just insane. And they are like the extreme example of hiding behind, well, if it saves one life, if it makes us this, how could you be on the other side? I think he actually said, not on my watch are we going to have anything happen like this. If you would just hear the man, he won't come on the show, but if you would hear this, you would say, who is taking the body snatchers there? Are these zombies? Is there something in the water? And people brought up, again, blood was shed there. One of our listeners with the petition. During the Revolutionary War, it runs in the veins there. White Marsh, 250th anniversary next year. Because of something that happened in Vancouver or New Orleans, they said, not only are there no credible threats, there are no threats whatsoever. So in this Memorial Day, when we talk about people that sacrificed it all to protect our way of life, isn't our way of life to go on with life, to make reasonable judgments? In what universe are these clowns, that's what they are, making a reasonable judgment not to have a parade? And I was glad to see the number of people in White Marsh Township, but I wonder, didn't you know this when you elected these people? All of them are Democrats. And they appoint this police chief, some parks guy, and they're all yada, yada, yada. I mean, 28 access points, it would cost $200,000 to secure an 8/10 of a mile parade. Aren't they embarrassed today? You just heard Bill, to hear all these parades that went off on Memorial Day? Of course. Are they waiting to say, oh, you'll see someday, Dom? Yeah, well, we have to take reasonable precautions. This is the same attitude during COVID. When I had Dr. David Damsker on, and he came up with the 3-foot rule, was certainly safe, not 6 feet, and liberated all kinds of school districts. And what happened? Those clown commissioners, Bob Harv, Harv DeGrasse Harvey, Diane Marseglia, they put them in the basement of the public health. They took away any kind of public role. That guy was so ahead of his curve, so smart, so courageous, and on point. It happened during COVID. That's what they do. Soft tyranny. This is soft tyranny in White Marsh, taking away a parade of people that love this parade. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, but you can't even feel shame because you have the power at this point. Why? I don't quite understand. You were voted in. All right, big 2 o'clock hour coming up. Here's how you get in, 855-839-1210.
At Citizens, we know when you're into something, you seek out advice. We all do. When you're into fitness, you got a trainer.
Another 12 reps. Let's go.
Wellness, a meditation expert.
And breathe.
And a stylist when you realized fuchsia wasn't your color.
That's so you.
So, what about advice for your money? From making a plan to reaching your goals, Citizens has the guidance you've been looking for all along. Make sense of your money with Citizens. Get started at your local branch or online at citizensbank.com/made-ready.
At Kitchen Magic, we believe the heart of your home deserves American-made quality you can trust. That's why we manufacture all of our products right here in Nazareth, PA, so you won't face shipping delays or tariff surprises. As a local family-owned company, we are proud to offer reliable service and custom kitchen remodeling you can count on. And this May only, enjoy up to 30% off your dream kitchen. Visit kitchenmagic.com and schedule your free design consultation today.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
I plan to rearrange my closet, but I stopped after picking the clothes up off the floor.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's award-winning language learning app will help you start speaking another language. Start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Comment tu t'appelles? Comment tu t'appelles? Vous êtes où?
Vous êtes où?
Babbel's bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
"How's your French going?"
you can say,
Babbel est amusant et facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue. Et cela ne prend que 15 minutes par jour.
when you want to really learn another language, it starts with Babbel. Babbel, language for life, celebrating over 16 million subscriptions sold. Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning, life, and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. No application fee if you apply by May 30th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Everything was swollen, even my eyelids. I was on kidney dialysis 8 hours a day.
When Crystal needed a kidney, her mom's friend Janet gave her one. Virtua Health, South Jersey's only transplant center, made it possible.
Crystal's so full of life, you can't help but love her.
After a short recovery, Janet's doing great, and Crystal, even better.
And I just got engaged.
Virtua Health, here for transplant, here for good. Learn more at virtua.org/hereforgood.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
Okay, it is Dom time. Really enjoying great callers today. Great stuff. If you're a new listener, welcome in. Looking for the all-time brothers, National Brother Day the other day. A lot of parades out there if you were at one. Tell me about July 4th, too. I bet a lot of those towns do a July 4th. Memorial Day is a great parade, but July 4th is more the focus on things that, that are celebratory. This is more somber today. And in what universe would you call these things off? Again, my resentment is fueled by these people, and I bet the same attitudes. I didn't have a chance to go back through their minutes of their council meetings. If anybody remembers what they said, I should go to the newspaper of record there, More Than the Curve, and see what they said during COVID. I bet it was the same attitude. It's the same stuff again and again and again. So will they actually hold a parade or not? By the way, trouble on the horizon with the big, beautiful bill, in that Ron Johnson and a few other of these senators, I love Rand Paul, but attacking it, saying the cuts are not massive enough. You're going to see quite a debate here to get over this hurdle, and this is our one shot. Do we want the enemy of the perfect, the enemy of the good to be the perfect here? And I could see some negotiating, but our Republicans are afraid of taking apart Medicaid even slightly with the Trump base, and President Trump's not on board. I am with taking more out of Medicaid. People that are able-bodied and should be working should not be getting it. Do they have the votes there to do that, or are they scared to death around that? There's a lot to like in this bill. And one of the things I've amplified is there's a lot of great school choice in there in addition to other things, and the tax cuts, regulatory cuts, etc. So by July 4th, by the way, July 4th, at least of now, is going to be our second time at Mulligan's this year. So there's no better place to celebrate. It's a blast in Wildwood, July 4th at Mulligan's. And, I wish we were there every Friday over the summer. It is spectacular. We have the new shirts designed. Even I am not told the full design yet. Johnny's wife is keeping it close to the vest there till we get down there. But if you've seen the shirts, the Summer White House and all, it's such fun. It's what they don't get about talk radio. It's not just the politics of it. It's not just Trump and yada, 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 yada. There's a lot of local stuff. There's a lot of camaraderie. Just some of the callers that you have gotten to know. Scott of Mount Laurel came all the way down. He was there in person at the Farley Center the other day, for example, the winner of the Caller of the Year last year. Joe of Columbus will be there for lunch with Roe and me. He bid in the Mannion event. And again, we're looking for some slightly inebriated listeners to be there on the bar stools as I debate Linda Kearns, one of our persons of the year, and a great sport at this, on something. Should be kind of intense. We'll also be honoring Fred Herron, the sheriff out in Bucks County, who had the temerity to want to take illegal criminal aliens off the street, or at least help ICE in doing that. And as a result of that, the world is coming after him. Ridiculous. But just a little bit of the inner workings. And if you're a new listener, you just happen upon us, it's a holiday or dry, whatever. Well, congratulations. You've hit the best spot you're ever going to find. So I thought I'd ask this on a holiday, as I sometimes do. When you call in addition to your answer, how did you discover talk radio? What was the moment you discovered it? I discovered it. I was teaching still with a guy who only took the place of a teacher at my school last 2 months of the year. And because of that, I had to relay something to him. We got to talking, And he loved Dominic Quinn in the morning, who, what, genius. And I started checking it out. Then I discovered Irv Homer. I was like, oh my God. I discovered Dr. James Corey. I discovered Susan Bray, the Saucy Aussie. Harry Gross. Bernie Herman, the gentleman of broadcasting. Don't yank my chain. Kind of a dated expression, but it worked well then. And I discovered that whole world. And I was like, wow, this is hard to believe that it's always existed. I didn't know. I only vaguely knew of it. I may have known more of sports talk. So when you call in, when's that moment you discovered talk radio? Or me? Let's go to Joe in Westchester. Joe, on Memorial Day on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Joe, before you give me your answer, when did you discover talk radio?
I discovered it even before I started high school at St. Joe's. I mean, I forget who was on when, but I did listen to all those ones you just mentioned.
Well, how did you discover it? Was your father or somebody listening to it? That's how you heard it?
My father did listen a little, but then I listened to him more. And I would do it because, even while I was doing homework and so forth. And but I listened to all those guys and Rush. And even though I wasn't conservative then, but I listened to them all. And Irv and Bill O'Reilly, all of them. And I listened to it. So anyway, the reason I called in is I had a comment on Italy, which I visited, with my Filipino wife and two other Filipino couples back in about 20 years ago. So at any rate, are you going to Venice too?
Not this time, Joe. We've done Venice. It's Calabria and Sicily. Yeah.
Right. Well, my father was in on the invasion in World War II. But he never went back. But anyway, I did with them. And my grandfather was from the Venetian area, Napolitano.
I tell you, Venice is, it's hard to believe it even exists, as you know, because everything essentially comes in by ship. It is physically just on the water. I thought they made that up, and it was sort of no, it physically is.
Right.
Yeah. So, Joe, give me your brothers, because I have a lot of people lined up here. Who are your brothers?
2 or 3 of mine were taken off already. Other people had them, so I was left with the Stooges. The Stooges
that's a good one.
On TV, right? Because Manny and Shemp and Curly Joe were all brothers. Curly Joe,
right?
Shemp,
Exactly. Thank you, Joe. Thanks very much as always. Yeah, it just occurred to me too. When did you discover that talk radio exists? What was that moment? Was somebody playing something and saying, "What the heck is that?" Was it through your parents? I mean, that's the best that I can remember of my story, and that's quite a while ago, that I knew something like this existed, and then I was determined to get into it somehow or another and started calling in, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And again, I had the pleasure of sitting in meetings with Dominic Quinn and Irv Homer, Jim Corey, Bernie McCain, Bernie Herman, and Tom Marr, who is a real buddy, who's passed. And I've never seen minds like this, particularly Quinn and Irv Homer. They were unusual. And talk radio, we often say, we're taking stands, freedom of speech, everything else. Irv Homer, some of the boldest stuff. If you can imagine the IRS coming after the station WWDB because of Irv Homer and sitting in the conference room, it had to be for a month. Publicly, we saw it, going through the books of WWDB in that kind of public of a manner because of Homer. Or when Irv Homer was called, and I don't have it in front of me, so I'll have to say it in general, by somebody who had taken over or done something at a high school and wanted to speak just to Irv Homer. And they had to tag somebody in that was out there just to take over for Irv to continue it off air. Or when I think the guy's name was Richard Wincoop, who was on the run from Dyfus over a situation in Jersey. I think he had him in studio with him. It was beyond anything. And the quick Rush story, Philadelphia was the last of the top 10 markets that took the Rush Limbaugh show. Don't ask me why, because we were very localized then. And when Rush came in, it was so big that we would go to Seafood Shanty's, the host, with listeners at noon and listen for a couple of hours at least to Rush Limbaugh and having seafood lunches with hundreds. The first one, it may have been 300 listeners or more. And I don't know how many Seafood Shanties there were at that point. It was very popular. There had to be 10 to a dozen, seemed like. And when I first broke in at WWDB, I remember going to a Bird of Prey event. And we actually had to carry birds of prey with a handler. And this guy was kind of menacing coming toward Irv Homer, and I saw Irv going to his ankle where he had a concealed carry. And I'm thinking, so this, I told Roe, is talk radio. Can't get enough of it. Talk about gigantic personalities and the whole thing. So I'm so grateful that I came in that era. And then this era, where the station's even more of a national player at this point, as you know, thanks to the listeners. So give me that moment when you discovered talk radio. And we got the side question going on. Hit us with those all-time brothers. No Money Melody today, but we will have it tomorrow. We'll be back at around the normal time, around 2:13 every day. Dan usually, sometimes Henry, concocts something based upon what we're talking about, throws it out there, and we have a great prize for that. We have a prize at the end of the week, usually a $50 gift card to Gallows. Thank you, Jim Harvey, right up there on the boulevard, and Harv's Burger Bar, adjacent to it, 2 restaurants in one. It's a fabulous place. So if you win today, your name will go into the hopper, and on Friday we'll pull it out of the 5, and you'll be a winner. All right, 855-839-1210. You get on board. Coming up, a little bit more of President Trump talking to U.S. Armed Forces just in the last couple of days. And they are going to subpoena the doctor. How would you like to be the doctor? Not his real doctor, Dr. Joe Biden. How would you like to be the doctor of Joe Biden? He is going to be subpoenaed. I mean, they've asked him to come in and testify. He won't. He's going to be subpoenaed. I'll play you a little bit of the questions now that Alex Thompson and Jake Tapper have. They're actually thinking they're going to peddle a paperback around how did we miss Biden's cancer. My goodness. That might be harder to find out than just looking at Joe Biden and seeing with our own eyes for a year, 2 years, or 3 years what he was not doing. 855-839-1210.
Weather sponsored by Garden State Earthworks.
We'll get down to 50 overnight with a few clouds. Tomorrow we'll see a high of 65, a mix of sun and clouds. Still a mix of sun and clouds for Sunday with a high of 71. Memorial Day Monday, 75 and much more sunshine expected. Back to work Tuesday, upper 70s with clouds.
You have water on your property giving you a headache. Soggy yards, damp patio, floating, wrinkling pool liners, water invading your home? Call Garden State Earthworks, your drainage solution, at 856-848-4444.
Seems everyone has an opinion on where the stock market's going, but where should you be going? Find out with Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Saturdays at 5 p.m. and Sundays at 9 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hey, this is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Listen, I know sometimes you worry about coming to see me because you don't want to invest in real estate, because you don't want to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants. I'm going to teach you a way that you don't have to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants, or even own any real estate and invest in real estate at the same time. You want to learn this, so go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com, and take a complimentary class this Thursday, and I promise you, no toilets, no trash, no tenants.
Hit the road this season to watch our world champion football team. Book your trip with Fans of Philly. Trips are now available for pre-order to Kansas City, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, and more. Travel in style with transportation, a pregame party, and game tickets to enjoy the Birds on the road this season with Fans of Philly, the official travel partner of 94 WIP and the Eagles Radio Network. Book now at fansofphilly.com. That's fans with a PH of Philly. KYWN.com.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Plenty of parades and events happening all over our area to honor fallen veterans. Search crews have found the body of a park ranger who had been missing in Bucks County's Tyler State Park since Friday. And as we enter summer, Airbnb is rolling out technology to block people from renting out homes for parties.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Get ready to hit it out of the park every time you fire up the grill this spring with Hatfield. Swing into action with Hatfield's variety of marinated pork, ground pork and sausage, ham, bacon, and your favorite Hatfield Phillies Franks. With over 24 distinct flavors that can be ready in minutes, Hatfield pork is food you'll feel good about serving. From home or at the ballpark, find your flavor with Hatfield, the official pork provider of the Phillies. Visit simplyhatfield.com for recipes and put pork on your fork.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Do it today at 1210 WPHT.
All right, coming to your calls. Home stretch here with Dom today on Talk Radio 1210, 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. Breitbart today telling us that American patriotism was at an all-time low. Every Memorial Day, July 4th, we see these polls. They say, though, thankfully, the tide seems to be turning as more and more members of Gen Z, particularly young men, are trending conservative and more religious than millennials. According to a 2023 Gallup survey, only 39% of U.S. adults said they felt extremely proud to be an American, the lowest level on record. A Wall Street Journal survey confirms this trend of declining national pride. The percentage of Americans who consider patriotism very important fell from 70% in 1998 to just 38%. You know, that's one thing if you said in general, if you're asked if you feel extremely proud to be an American, you know, can we get away from this idea that however you feel about the, like if you're listening now and you were asked that question, be honest, when Obama was president, let's say, or Biden, would you say, no, you're not extremely proud? Yeah, I still am. It doesn't matter. Got to get away from this idea. It matters. I'm only going to answer that question if I have my person in there, my values, what the president should be doing. Otherwise, I'm not extremely proud. It's a given. We've hit the lottery to be Americans. So you may not like a policy, you may not like this, that, and the other. But to me, the question is not that day or that year. The question is an existential question about America. That's what it's about. It's not about anything else. All right, let's go to Robert in Bensalem on Talk Radio 1210. Welcome in, Robert. Hi.
Hey, Dom. It's good to talk to you today, man. Happy Memorial Day.
Thank you. Same to you, Robert.
Before I get to the side question, Jackie, yeah. Before I get to the side question, you were asking what got people to listen to talk radio, and I had an interesting story there because I had the same friend first told me, listen to this guy Howard Stern, he's funny, and then he said, listen to this guy Rush Limbaugh, he's always right, and then I found Irv Homer, and I was listening to Irv Homer, and he was kind of a conspiracy guy, which was the opposite of you back then. But I would call him, and I was held over from his show because his show went off the air, and you came on, and they said, do you want to talk to Dom? I said, sure. And you took my call, and I was asking about the Vince Foster, and I think at that time you had it up to here with conspiracy theories. So you told me that conspiracy theories are better than sex, and that I needed to get a life, and you hung up on.
I'm sorry, my God.
No, don't apologize, Dom. This is a great story, man, because I never gave up on talk radio, and I just learned a lesson with you, as in read the room when you call somebody. But that was just a great memory for me, man. I know it shouldn't be, but it is.
Well, it's a great memory for me. Yeah, that is my line. They're better than sex for some people, yes.
Yep. And that just kind of opened it up. It made it real to me. That call with you made talk radio dynamic and real to me in a backhanded way. And I've been listening ever since, man. And I think it's wonderful that we have talk radio. But in the answer to the side question, I had a couple that were off the board, but it occurs to me that this is Memorial Day, okay? And we should be honoring Brothers in Arms or Band of Brothers. Either one of those that has a military meaning to it, I would like to choose on Memorial Day. So I'll go with Brothers in Arms or Band of Brothers, whichever you prefer.
All right, now get off my phone, you rat.
You have a great day, Dom. I'll talk to you tomorrow, brother.
All right, thanks, Robert. You too. Oh my goodness. All right. Can you remember that first moment that you were listening to talk radio? I'm trying to remember with the next caller, the first time he called in, that Dan and I got on the classical music and just the world of the great Joe of Exton on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Joe, happy Memorial Day. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, Tom. Likewise to you. For my answer, the city of brotherly love spawned the department store known as Lit Brothers.
Yep. So, Joe, were you a Lit Brothers guy or a Strawbridge's guy?
No, I was both.
Oh, but yeah, you know what? Back then, it wasn't competition. I don't know if I can differentiate between the two. All I knew with Strawbridge's, usually the floors that I was on, there was some woman who was in charge each one of those floors. And, Joe, they knew what was on that floor inside and out. They knew their product and how to approach customers. It was unbelievable.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And then Lit Brothers went out of business.
Yeah. That's a good one, Joe. Lit Brothers, though, definitely. Yeah, I don't know that they competed fiercely or whatever, but, yeah, that's a good one. All right, Robert of Ben Salem. You know, there are times when it's just amazing. I was following Irv Homer then. I wonder how that worked out. But I remember the first time I sat in for him. I hadn't slept from the overnight, and I was seeing green things flying around, but I got through it. Back then, it was an all-star lineup. The fill-ins for Morning Drive were Dominic Quinn, me, Tom Marr, and Michael Smerconish. Those were the fill-ins. WWDB was an incredible starting point to learn talk radio and what makes it tick. And it's always been the same. It's a connection. It's the ability to discuss just about anything, but it's more the fun of it, too. And I got to say that Dan has helped me institute so many things over just a few years that are amazing. I just think of the fun of the whole 40-yard football throw, the I can outrace a bear, the gravy sauce, the niche. It is incredible, the back and forth over that. So many calls that I remember over the years that in a million years we wouldn't be able to replicate it. It just happens. It's dynamic. There is no medium like it. So why in the world do they have such trouble attacking talk radio? Because we have status now, because we're in the big game, because we can get access to people that are incredibly important and people that you want to hear. And they know of us, and they know that you're a force when it comes to that. Doesn't mean we win every battle, but it means it's a player in all these things. And we certainly did, with the help of Linda Kearns and Scott Presler, win Pennsylvania. Relatively easily, too, looking back on it, which I thought was impossible. All right, let's go to Kirk. Kirk is in Bluebell, Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Kirk, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dom. Thanks for the opportunity.
You're welcome.
My initial, infant stages of talk radio were with Rush Limbaugh when I was traveling for work down in Miami in the South Florida area. And then I had some new opportunities at work, came up here, and it continued with Rush. And then there was also a local radio station here in Lansdale, had some talk radio. And I've been hooked ever since. And I must say, over the last few years, you have developed a nice niche to fill still fill Rush's shoes there from 1 to 3. You've done a great job, or 12 to 3, excuse me. You've done a great job, and continue to do a good job.
Well, thank you. You know, it's one of those things, though, you usually don't want to be the guy who's the guy after. You know, if I ever did hard acts to follow in talk radio, there is literally not even close of the hardest act to follow. He invented
exactly. 100%.
Rush Limbaugh saved the AM dial. AM dial really had degenerated, as you know, Kirk, by that point, and he brought on hundreds and hundreds of stations that were built around Rush Limbaugh.
Yes, by all means. By all means.
So who's yours, Kirk?
Mine is The Greatest Show on Earth, composed or developed by the Ringling Brothers. I think there were 4 German brothers from, I think, Iowa.
That is a
Ringling
really good
Brothers Circus.
Yeah, the Ringling Brothers, big time. Thank you, Kirk. Thanks for telling us, too, when you discovered talk radio. We'll take some more calls coming up. You can still get in. Looking for all-time brothers. In the beginning, we had the Sullivan Brothers. We had Romulus and Remus. I like Roberts on Memorial Day. Band of Brothers. I've never watched that fully through. By the way, you know, it's old. There's a lot of data. It doesn't have the modern pyrotechnics. If you happen to see it on, though, The Longest Day has a number of byplays of D-Day, behind the scenes, the Germans, the whole thing, that is fairly accurate and well done. I mean, John Wayne's over the top in it, and so's Robert Mitchum. You talk about big actors in there, though. Just incredible. It doesn't match Spielberg and Sullivan Brothers. Somebody called in with that today on Memorial Day. I think that is still the quintessential Memorial Day film because of the Sullivan Brothers. The scene alone where the mother sees the vehicle coming up and sees who's getting out and collapses there is just remarkable. And Hanks's performance, even though I'm not a fan of his, is remarkable. It's hard to imagine a film superior to that. But The Longest Day is quintessential, you know, what they had to work with. Look at what it was like. D-Day, still to me, is the most preposterous that they were able to accomplish that. At least the American beach, because of the advantage the Nazis had, etc. So 855-839-1210, you'll get on board. Hit us with those all-time brothers and when you first remember listening to talk radio. Every holiday I kind of think about that a little bit and how it has morphed into something beyond belief. I mean, you know, when starting doing talk radio, the skill to bring you the sound that we do, the events that we have now, politics and pints, there is nothing like it, even the trips. So I hope you're considering our trip to Sicily. ConservativeTours.com is the place to go. They are world class when it comes to actually connecting you with where we're going. Is there anything more exotic than Sicily, to put it mildly? Here is, Sean, this is, here is Alex Thompson. This is cut 12. I wanted to play this today because it's been all day long, these guys, Tapper and Thompson. Here's Alex Thompson saying that the White House doctor was pulled into the Biden orbit, reality distortion fields. See if this passes measure. Cut 12.
I want to ask, too, about the president's doctor, because we have this unfortunate news now about his cancer diagnosis. And you write about Dr. Kevin O'Connor several times in the book. But on page 47, you say people around Biden worried that O'Connor, whom almost everyone called Doc, might be too close to his patient. You write about his continued resistance to ever give him a cognitive test. But knowing what we know about the president's health, something that, you know, a lot of medical professionals, including Zeke Emanuel, who is no conservative, says he may have had this cancer probably for years. Was Dr. O'Connor too close to him to significantly and accurately probe both his mental and physical health?
I mean, Zeke Emanuel not only is no Republican, he also worked on Joe Biden's COVID team. And he basically said that it's almost certain that Joe Biden had this cancer while he was president. So that either means that he had cancer and his doctor did not catch it, or it means that they did catch it and they didn't disclose it. And so it's raised more questions than not. In terms of, I mean, a lot of people did feel that Kevin O'Connor, while they also believed he was a man of integrity, they also just felt that he had been sort of, brought into this Biden orbit of sort of, they call it a version of a reality distortion field. And, the other thing is that Kevin O'Connor was also very involved with Joe Biden's late son, Beau's, cancer treatments. And, that sort of bonded them in a way that I think made people a little apprehensive. And even people that really love Kevin O'Connor, and like, by all accounts, like, he was beloved throughout the White House, even longtime Biden aides have told me that they are skeptical and feel like they don't have all the information when it comes to this cancer diagnosis.
All right, so he is going to be called in. We got to go through this in the House with a whole litany of people once again. And why? Well, there's the book. The takeaway from the book this weekend is the people, and I don't know that they explicitly, I think they're covering this too. They have a better idea than I do, talking to all these people. Who is it who is actually running the country? They call it the Poet Bureau. They would call themselves the Poet Bureau. Soviet. That's what was going on. This is worse than the Soviet Union behind the scenes. Who were those people? How did they divvy up power? Did they use the auto pen? Are they the ones that signed the pardons or executed the pardons? All of this is potential criminal behavior. So it's not that this is going to go easily into the night. And these guys, I think, are still pulling punches here. It's outrageous to profit off of this when it was right in front of you. You didn't trust your instincts as a reporter with all those sources. You had to see this. I mean, Jake Tapper has to fess up that deep down, come on, it was fear of being the ones to speak out. You had to be in that bubble. That's all that it was about. All right, more calls coming up. 855-839-1210.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
Whether it's Pennsylvania or New Jersey, obviously New York, the Northeast, they might have the best little mom and pop bakeries of any region of the country. Whether it's tomato pie or delicacies and desserts, cannolis. No wonder why we're all fat in the Northeast.
The bike ride is 2 months from tomorrow. So, there's still plenty of time to train if you're not in bike shape.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Here's the hard truth. Every 6 years, your dollar loses half its buying power. That means a $100,000 savings account today could feel like $50,000 by 2031. And you see it every time you fill up your tank, buy groceries, or pay the bills. Prices are up. Your dollar is down. But there's a simple way to protect the value of your savings with something real, something proven. Gold. An asset that holds its value over time. That's why I trust Noble Gold Investments. They make it simple to protect your savings with physical gold or silver. No high-pressure sales, no call centers, just honest guidance, one-on-one support, and transparent pricing. And right now, when you open a qualified account, Noble Gold will send you a free 10-ounce silver American flag bar as a thank you. Head to noblegoldinvestments.com today to learn more. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
This is Jonathan Cans, third-generation owner of Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning. Has your furnace or AC been on the fritz for years and you've been putting a Band-Aid on it? Well, stop procrastinating. Right now, there are amazing rebates and tax credits available. Enjoy up to $2,600 in federal tax credits, $1,400 in manufacturer's rebates, and up to $950 from PECO. As they say, now's the time. Don't procrastinate. Contact us at Marvin E. Cans Heating and Air Conditioning. Go to marvinekanze.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary. Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Now back to the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
This is Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
All right, welcome in, Dom Giordano Show. Even on holidays, sometimes that's the best. You never know who's out there listening and might just check in. Dom Giordano Show, happy to welcome State Senator over in Jersey, George Geis, with us here on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Senator, happy Memorial Day. Thanks for calling in.
Dom, happy Memorial Day to you, and God bless America. I am excited to tell you that the best tours, conservative tours, took us to the Florence American Cemetery on September 13th. Dom, my excitement is based on the fact I thought I was in Arlington. It was so impressive, so phenomenal. Those going to Italy can visit the Florence American Cemetery and think they were in Arlington. Ken Chase arranged it. It wasn't even on the original planned tour. It was a surprise. It was phenomenal. And I wanted a courtesy call you to thank you for inspiring us to do conservative tours and have that moment.
Well, George, thank you very much. You know, I know we've talked about this a little bit. And again, Ken Chase and what they do is that they understand things like this with our listeners. That's why they're named conservative tours. That I didn't even know about that. That's great. I'm glad you had that opportunity.
And that's why I wanted a courtesy call you so that you would know, so that others can share that experience. Florence American Cemetery is an exciting moment in our lives.
Absolutely. Senator, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. What's new in Jersey? Anything big coming up?
A new governor. A new governor.
Absolutely.
A new governor. We're very excited. Very excited. But
have you endorsed anybody?
Oh yes. Absolutely. Jack will be back.
Yes, exactly right.
Jack will be back. We are big fans of you, Dom, and we thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Senator, very much. Stay in touch. Thanks, Senator.
Thanks. Happy Memorial Day, Senator.
Happy Memorial Day. Thank you. All right. See, it's just amazing to me how stuff like this works out. Let's go to Karen on Talk Radio 1210. Hello, Karen. Afternoon.
Hi, Dom. Happy Memorial Day. Thanks for being there today. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Karen.
Two things. When you started to talk about your memories of becoming a fan of talk radio, I remember listening as a teenager to Joel A. Spivak on WCAU in the morning.
I worked with him at a stop. He was at either Morning Drive or 9 to Noon at WWDB.
Yes, I really enjoyed him, and my dad listened also to Dominic and to Joel, and then later I've always been a fan of talk radio. I was just twisting around the dial and came upon Phil Hendry, and I'm like, oh my gosh, who is this guy?
Let's stop for a moment. And I'm not sure if Phil Hendry's still on. First of all, he was Joe Conklin on national level. One of the all-time great mimics. And Karen, was your favorite? Mine was when he did the president of the Homeowners Association, and they played the presidential greeting song coming in. Then he imitated it. And Phil Hendry, if he's still on or if he's still with us, he was a prophet how incredible these home ownership things are, and about 30% of Americans are living under home ownership dictatorship, so to speak.
Dictatorship, yep. No clotheslines, don't park your camper out front, all that.
Oh, my God. But Henry is as good of and he was able to carry his story for 15 minutes as a mimic. It's incredible.
Yeah, I just looked him up. He still has a show, so I'm going to have to tune in.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do that too. Yeah.
Yeah. But my brothers, first of all, I had one in mind, and then I changed it. I don't know. Has anybody done the Kelseys?
Nobody's done the Kelseys, no.
Jason and Travis.
All right, Karen, we'll put you down for that. If you have a chance, if you can hear him anywhere, Phil Hendrie, and particularly DJ and soon-to-be Luke. Now, DJ lives in one that's not the classic homeowner. They haven't been that bad. But Luke's moving into a development that's homeowner-esque very soon. And again, Dan is in one. How in the world did we get, I have to talk about that again more tomorrow, that Americans must be voting with their feet, that somehow or another they want that. Now, some of these are okay. Some of them are really tyrannical. And Hendrie, I think it was a female, was the president of the Homeowners Association. And when she would enter the room for the monthly meeting, they would play the presidential song. And he would launch into some of the most outrageous stuff that they would be considering or doing. And again, this is, I'd have to, cross-check my mind here. How many years ago was I on the station with Phil Hendrie? I don't know if it's 15 or not. But I just thought, wow, that talent. I get it every time, too, with Joe Conklin. By the way, at Dom Day, Joe Conklin is going to be there. I mean, it's going to be a crowd at Mulligan's. Joe Conklin will be there with me because he's got a big event, a couple of them coming up at the Jersey Shore, one that I'm involved in July 11th in Wildwood, the other in Ocean City, the Music Pier. He'll be there on the 12th, and he'll be probably in the 1 o'clock hour with us there. And if you want to see him up close, you can listen on the air, of course, too. But amazing. Is his best Joel Embiid? He does a very good Trump. He's got Trump down pretty well. Our own Jim Kelly, too. I'm amazed at people that can do that. It's a special skill. And he'll be there with us, along with, we hope, Scott Presler, people like that. If you've never been, you got to make the pilgrimage that day. Make it a weekend. You will love there in person. All right, phone lines. Ready for the lightning round here. 855-839-1210, AT&T, and Verizon Wireless. You just push pound 1210, and you get in.
This is Bill Hoffman, president of Hoffman's Exterminating. We've been protecting Delaware Valley homes and businesses from pests for 35 years, all while supporting our local community. We also support those who protect us, our veterans. Robert Rutherford, our Director of People and Culture, served 10 years in the U.S. Marine Corps. We at Hoffman's have made a commitment to hiring veterans. Our veterans are valued, and the skills you learn in the military are transferable. Join the Hoffman's family and visit us at hoffmansexterminating.com.
This May, Hester Chevrolet makes it easier than ever to drive home in a new Chevy. Get a new 2024 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew Cab 4x4, just $43,999. Or drive home in a 2025 Chevy Blazer, lease for just $349 a month, 39 months. Or finance with 0.9% APR financing for 72 months. Hester Chevrolet of Cherry Hill, Cherry Hill's trusted Chevy dealer. Visit us at HesterChevyCH.com. Call 856-406-6397 for details. Together, let's drive.
Hester Chevrolet! Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Great news! Get over $500 in value by making the move to Fios. Switch to Fios today to receive a $200 Verizon gift card. Combine Fios with Verizon Mobile and save an additional $300 per year. Plus, both plans come with a price lock guarantee. So head to your local Verizon store for details on this limited time offer. Gift card offer ends 7/8/25. Must maintain Fios service in good standing for 65 days and register gift card per offer terms. One offer per account. Price guarantee for new customers on My Plan and Select My Home plans and excludes taxes and other charges. See store for details.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. we're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
I really need funding to expand my inventory.
Swish Funding can help you expand inventory, upgrade equipment, and boost your cash flow.
Well, okay, but I need funding fast.
Swish Funding provides funding from $25,000 to $2 million with payment terms tailored to your needs and cash in your account in less than 24 hours.
So what's the catch?
No catch. If you've been in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000, you could qualify. Just go to swishfunding.com to apply. That's swishfunding.com.
Calling on East Greenville to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it today.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
Yes, it is the lightning round. We'll try to get as many brothers in. If you have a brief comment, though, special dispensation today, just tell me how you discovered Talk Radio, just briefly. Marvin in Wynwood on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Marvin, welcome in.
Hi, I've been listening. I've been one of your older callers. I'm age 90. I've been listening for a long time. Anyway, I started to listen and talk radio to Frank Ford.
Oh, of course. Giant of Talk Radio, yeah.
You couldn't hear the caller. Frank Ford, in the beginning, had to say what the caller was saying. You couldn't hear what the caller was saying, so Frank Ford said what the caller was saying.
And I talked to him about that. I talked to him about that, and people should understand how wonderful his talent was. He had to respond to what the caller was saying, say that on the air, respond to the caller, particularly when it got heated. I've never found audio that sounded that. If I had, I'd play one. I worked with him at two stations, and it was incredible to do that. That's a great memory.
He was on WPEN.
Right.
And I'll say the last time I saw you were playing with Joe McBride at Bear Recreation Center against guys like Frankie Gillen, who played for St. Aloysius, and you played, I believe, for King of Peace.
That's exactly right, Marvin. That's great stuff. Joe McBride, Frankie,
and your father coached the senior league team at night.
Yes, exactly. Who are your brothers?
Brothers are DiMaggio, as you know, Joe, Dom, and Vince.
That's very well put. And here's how you tell that it was too much Italian pride. If you said Joe DiMaggio was the greatest player ever, that's obviously a stretch. He might be in the top 15 or 20, though. But if you said the second greatest player was Dom and the third was Vince, then you're nuts. That's pretty good, though. All right, Mark on 95 with us here on Talk Radio 1210. Afternoon, Mark. Hi, what do you have today?
John,
Yo,
can
Mark.
you hear me?
Yeah, Glenn, loud and clear.
I'm actually now at 95. I'm coming back from Indianapolis from the 500, and I got to tell you, my brothers, Mario and Aldo Andretti, Nazareth, Pennsylvania, they made Indianapolis what it is. It's so exciting to be there.
Yeah. How about the fire? How about the fire in the pit? How was that?
Oh man, I was right on that. Man, you can't see the damn flames. It's really, guys are jumping around. You hope that it doesn't come near you.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks for the effort. I appreciate it very much. Yeah, my experience with that, these guys have gotten more athletic. Being driven at Charlotte at the speed of approaching 200 miles an hour. Was a AAA driver, Charlotte Speedway. Wow. It was hard to believe how intense that is. Yeah, and there was a fire in the pits, but it was a great Indianapolis 500. Dan in Havertown, Talk Radio 1210. Afternoon, Dan. Hi.
Oh, yes, I just wanted that other guy he mentioned, that Frankfurt. When I was a kid, I was in a Frankfurt grocery store in Philadelphia. There was a bunch of them, corner stores, and it had a flyer for this Frank Ford talk show. And he got his name, that was his only sponsor, and he named himself Frank Ford.
Yeah, I know that story. That's where it came from. Absolutely,
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I've been listening to talk shows now over 70 years. So
Wow.
all you
Well,
guys do a good job.
you are what we call a P1, Dan. I'm very glad that you're listening.
and I have the Marx Brothers.
I took the Marx Brothers off. Do you have another one?
Oh, you have them off. I didn't know that. That's okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Dan.
No.
Dan.
Have a
Keep
nice
listening.
holiday.
Thank you. You too. Thank you for the call. Stephen Langhorne, Talk Radio 1210. Hi, Steve.
Hey, man. How you doing?
Good, Steve.
My brothers are Stevie Ray Vaughan, guitarist, blues man, and his brother Jimmy from the Fabulous Thunderbirds. And how I got into radio, listening to was Frank Rizzo.
Frank
back in the mid '80s.
Yes.
Oh God, I got tapes. I used to tape myself because I had like a year off. We had a baby, and I was self-employed, and I got to take off a lot of time to hang out with my kid. So we taped off. I taped a lot of stuff, and he knew my grandpa because my grandpa was a Democrat senator, representative, and all that for years. Who died in '66, and he could say, yeah, me and your grandpa didn't always see eye to eye, but he was a good man. And I remember they dedicated a park to him down between Wellington and, down there in Tacony, And my grandma, we were sitting in the stands, and she said, oh, if your grandpa was here today, he'd be rolling over his grave.
Thank you, Steve. One more. Ted in King of Prussia. All right, Ted, who do you have?
Wyatt Earp, Tom, he had 4 brothers, James, Morgan, Warren, and Virgil.
Yep. And I could go and watch Tombstone right now. I love that film. Doc Holliday, too. Oh, God. All right. Sean, did anyone stand out to you? I wrote down all these, so I have some favorites here. But is there anyone, as you were listening to them, you liked?
Yeah, I liked Joe from Westchester with the Three Stooges, and I also had liked Bill with the Beach Boys.
Okay. I like the first one out of the box. A couple of them were centric to Memorial Day, the military, and they were great, too. Sullivan Brothers from Ray and Doylestown, and Robert with the Band of Brothers. I'm going to go, though, with Ray of Doylestown on this one. The Sullivan Brothers, the stuff of Spielberg's masterpiece, Saving Private Ryan. Wonderful stuff. So let's put into the hat Ray of Doylestown. Sean, if you send that to them.
Ray from Doylestown has been entering the hat.
Yeah, all right, perfect. Wonderful stuff today around that. Thank you for making it happen. And that stuff that we did at the end, there is nothing like talk radio. It just gets more dynamic. It continues to evolve, and it continues to just be a community right in front of us. So when we have one of our events of any sort, the first time we met Joe of Exton in person was at the Don Jr. event last September. The Mulligans event's coming up, Politics and Pints. We got some great names coming our way. The one we did with all the hosts was brilliant, spectacular night around that. Try to come, try to participate, and you'll go, wow, you'll hear that voice, and you'll say, that's X? Yeah. It's all part of it. It's different than any other medium out there. Thanks to Sean for producing today. Of course, Dan and Henry on every day. Thanks to Chicky and Pete's for that big event at Farley Plaza every year. But we have a lot of stuff coming up in the pipeline as we head into summer. And don't forget, I played you Dave Koski today, this hero of the 7 Mile Island corridor over there for the Congressional Medal of Honor. We hope to tout that throughout the year. And tomorrow, on the horizon, New Jersey is one of the 2 or 3 leaders in SNAP overpayments, the food stamp. Overpaying because they don't keep good records, so they don't care. In the big, beautiful bill, the provision is that the federal government will not pay 100% of this. They're only going to pay 95%, and the states 5%, in order that they learn the lesson. You just can't have hundreds of millions of dollars in overpayment or to people that are here illegally. we'll have some special look at that tomorrow. And tomorrow, Scott Presler on with us to break down what he's up to. Again, thank you for listening today on a holiday. We always respect your time and your connection, and the beat goes on around this. And I know how the hosts feel here at the station, that this is a one-of-a-kind experience. And there's something about being on days like this that draws people to this, to share that even in the middle of remembering the parades. And let me get to White Marsh Township on Wednesday night. I'll bring you all that. Are they really, after all this, not getting what America is all about, what Americans want? Americans get they're not 1,000,000% guaranteed safety when it comes to things like a July 4th now parade coming up. Do the right thing, White Marsh Township, and let people have a parade there. All right, follow me on Twitter until tomorrow at DomShow1210, at DomShow1210. You heard a lot of people call in today about our big trip to Sicily, Italy, and particularly the state senator. ConservativeTours.com. Go and get all that information. Thank you, Sean. Back tomorrow, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hi, I'm Judith Light. So there you are. It's flu season, and you're over 65 like me. You're having another busy year. So much to do, so many roles in life to play. But you feel like you might be forgetting something serious.